What's up? We're here. We're good to go. Okay, I'm glad that my camera's working because the monitor that the camera is attached to is not working. So that's a thing. It might be slightly harder / impossible for me to interact with chat today. Not in terms of reading chat. I can read chat just fine, but in terms of like doing my little like normal like highlight things where I do it on the screen. Yeah, I think chat is a little bit stuck on the monitor that is plugged in but not working. And if I were to unplug the monitor, then that would oh, actually no. That would mess up a lot of other stuff. Anyways, hello, my name is Mega. This is Critical Eyes. What's up? It's episode 105. It's the last part. It's part 3. We're looking at the last hour of Critical Role Campaign 1, episode 5. We're looking at the good, the bad, the ugly. This is a combat. Although, not too much left to talk about in the combat. In fact, I look, sometimes I say this because I know that I'm either right or it is funny, dramatic irony for you guys. But, I say this with full knowledge of that doesn't seem like much else is going to happen this episode. I don't know. Like, I could be wrong. But it seems like we're probably going to fight for a little bit longer and then maybe have a slight bit of conversation and then leave. I don't see a whole lot else happening. But like I said, I say that knowing that it might be funny and wrong. Happy Critical Role Day as well. Is today Critical Role Day? March 12th? Is March 12th special? In CR history? Is that like the day of the first stream on GNS? Thursday. Oh, well, I guess that it would be Thursday. Oh, you mean just the Critical Role Day in general? Fair enough. Yeah, I normally don't do stuff on Thursdays, kind of for that reason. But tomorrow I am going to be busy. Probably. I don't know. It still might wind up with that I'm not busy tomorrow, but most likely I will still be busy. Anyways, so yeah. I truly don't know that there's a whole lot else to talk about. I didn't really have any conclusions between streams. I didn't have any thoughts between streams. The only thing that I did think about is I was thinking about, okay, my whole Sprig is OG pipe mender theory was really not about Sprig being literally OG. It was more about him being like a theoretical Trickfoot ancestor. And the OG pipe mender story being fabricated around the legends or the or whatever of this theoretical former ancestor. But honestly, I was thinking about it and I was like, there is one thing that I didn't really consider, which is the Sprig Scanlan parallels. And I said at the beginning of looking at Sprig, of I really liked their dynamic, and I liked that there was this big sort of distinction between the two of them, which is OG is saying, hey, I left, I abandoned my party, whatever, and that was bad and wrong. And Scanlan is quite distinct in that he didn't just run away from Vox Machina. He ran towards Kaylee, his estranged daughter, to try and improve his fathering. And so that was a big distinction in my mind between them. Unless it isn't. Because I will say Pike's parentage is like one of the reasons that I latched on to Sprig being a Trickfoot ancestor is because Pike's ancestry and her lineage is weird. Like, her family is strange. Not in like I've got weird relatives. There's some weird shit going on. Like, I don't fully trust people's accounts of Pike's lineage, and she knows conspicuously little about it. Like, both of her parents seemed to disappear under mysterious circumstances. Her great uncle removed her from contact from the rest of her family and brought her up in a basically dead religion. Like, Sarenrae Sarenrae worship as a religious cult seems to have, and I mean cult in the historical sense, not the modern sense, but like cultic worship of Sarenrae seems to have all but died out, besides Wilhand, and he like brings her up within that like strange cultic worship, and he like seems to have some manner of adventuring background, but he's kind of dodgy about it. All of her other family members are these like weird kind of scammersons that kind of just float around and give her an entire fake ancestry, if we believe that it's all fake. Like, they either gave her a modified version of the truth in order to support their scam, in which case her ancestry is weird, or they completely fabricated this ancestry, which the fact that they could do so and she would not recognize it as fabricated is also strange. Like, there's kind of no lens I can look at Pike's ancestry and lineage and be like, yeah, that's normal. She's led a weird life. And I don't remember exactly like what the story is of like what happened to her parents. I believe that they like perished separately. But I don't think she like saw either of them die. I think both of her parents were off-screen deaths or off-screen disappearances. And I don't remember how old Pike is. But 37 to 35 years ago doesn't seem that crazy. For like possibly how long ago Pike's father disappeared. I'm just gonna put it out there that seems possible at the very least. I'm still sticking with my man. Sprig seems like he could be a Trickfoot ancestor, but if he was Pike's dad, it would actually like further deepen the mirroring between Scanlan and Sprig. Like, if he were Pike's estranged father, and like even we're like us. I don't think Pike remembers her parents, to my understanding. So that's like, even assuming that we even like know who they were. Like, it was either Ogden or Wilhand that like gave the explanation for what happened to her parents. I don't remember which one. But like, after the experience with Ogden, I can't really like fully trust anything they say. It could be that Pike's father was like, a bit of a scoundrel and got her mom pregnant out of wedlock and didn't realize, they had like a one-night stand or something, like Scanlan and Kaylee's mom. And, Pike is the result of that, like Kaylee was the result of Scanlan. Like, that's not a crazy stretch to me. And again, it would even further deepen the existing parallels between Scanlan and OG. Except that it would still have the fundamental difference of Scanlan choosing to leave to be with Kaylee once he finds out, at least eventually. Maybe that'll be like part of like Pike's retirement, is like kind of slightly riding off into the sunset with Sprig. Maybe Sprig relocates to Vasselheim and like maybe part of his mending with Ioun, but he's, both him and Pike moved to Vasselheim. She runs the Sarenrae Temple. He helps manage the Ioun library with, Vax. Maybe Vax's ghost is bound to the Dusk Meadow. And so they all get to like interact with his ghost still. I don't know. But there's some possibilities, I feel like. Oh, man. The one thing you didn't consider, that Sprig is just Sprig. If Sprig is just Sprig and he's just like, he would just be like, like an ancient adventurer that is this champion of Ioun. And like, that is fine. But it's also like, I don't really have any, it's hard to like prove a negative, And I can always assume that about pretty much everyone we meet, I can assume that they have basically no connection to any existing plot or person. But like, doing that is easy. I can just like say that. And then I, don't have to provide any further evidence, because the lack of evidence in and of itself goes towards that conclusion that this is just a brand new character with no pre-existing connections. So, always on the table, but not very fun to theorize about. So, whatever. Scanlan doesn't know if his father's alive. It would actually be insane if Sprig was Scanlan's father. That might be going too far. I don't know if I can buy that one. But it's possible. Why is Pike's family weird? I feel like I went through that, and I'm reading old chats. Yeah. Are we trying to Luke and Leia this? Oh, God. Oh, no. He could be both Pike and Scanlan's dad. I hate surprise incest trope. That sucks. It's one of the reasons, like, I watched Star Wars as an older person. Like, I didn't watch Star Wars as a kid. I was a Star Trek kid. And so, like, I watched Star Wars in, like, high school. And the surprise incest stuff was, like, not a great selling point for the franchise. For me. I can't speak for everyone, but that was a little bit like, oh, really? This is the franchise that everyone tells me to watch, huh? Oh, interesting. So, it wouldn't be my preference for what's going on with Sprig if I had to choose. Oh my God. That would be a soapy twist. Hopefully not the surprise incest. Hopefully something that I said. Probably something I said. Oh God. Full-blood siblings would make the "what's my mother's" thing funny in retrospect. Ah! Oh my god. Anyways. So, my main theory about Sprig thus far is still that I think he makes a lot of sense as a Trickfoot. Like, I think everything he has said, how he's acted, a lot of his history, like, it all seems very Trickfoot coded. And we do have this reference to the pools of Wittabach, and Wittabach in general within Ogden's story. Again, I don't believe Ogden's story. I don't think Arathis had anything to do with anything. Clearly, if OG or Sprig has any sort of beef with anyone, it's Ioun. I don't think Arathis is involved at all. So, it's more of a, he fits in a lot of ways. His past is mysterious. And I think there would be some amount of symbolicism with him being a Trickfoot ancestor. So, I don't know. We'll see. I honestly don't think, even if I'm right, I don't even think I'll find out this episode. So, I'm just going to put it on 1.75. We're gonna go forward and, see what happens. I don't know that much is going to happen during this combat, but I've been wrong before. Maggie said Sprig not being connected means you can't theorize, but why not? I mean, does the connection to the party actually matter that much to your theory? Sorry, it's not that, it's not that him not being connected means I can't theorize. It is that theorizing that he is just a dude, like he is just some ancient adventurer, or not ancient, but, the old gnome adventurer that has some sort of connection to Ioun, is like just what he has stated to us. And to theorize beyond that would kind of just be guessing. Like, I'm trying to think of how to say it. Like, if I am assuming that he has no prior connection to any, like, plot or party member, and those are kind of both of the things, right? If he has no connection to any prior plot or basically any proper noun thing within the story that has already been pre-established. Now, I could theorize about, like, what it means for him to be connected to Ioun. That's about as far as I could really get. Or I guess I could theorize about, like, his status as a former adventurer. But we aren't aware of any adventuring parties that, like, went mysteriously missing in the past. Really, the only prior adventuring party we're aware of is Allura's, I believe. I guess Pervan. But so there's not a lot of meat there if I assume that he is not connected to anything, right? And so the things that I'm pulling on, right, are his personality, his species, his location, right? So I'm theorizing off of his core attributes, and I'm theorizing that he's connected, right? And he might not be, but there's just not, like, a lot of road forward there if he's not connected in, like, any way to anything, right? It doesn't have to be the party necessarily. I just feel like that's the most likely at the moment. We could dive into the effect of being a champion, but even that would be mostly me guessing because I don't have a lot of evidence of what it's like to be a champion, like a champion of a god. We really just have Vax and Pervan. So don't have a lot there. I have a new favorite worst theory. I just wasn't sure how being related to Pike had anything to do with your theory last stream. How did my theory last stream come off? My whole theory was about him being a Trickfoot ancestor. Like, me talking about, like, him being, like, OG. Like, OG is just, like, the easiest name to use when I'm not, like, instead of Trickfoot ancestor every single time. Right? It's like, just theorizing that he's OG pipe mender. It's like, yeah, that name's probably made up. Like, I don't believe that Ogden was using a real name, or maybe he was. I don't really have an opinion either way on whether I think it's likely that OG Pipe Mender was an actual name of an actual person. I'm just referring to a Trickfoot ancestor and him being vis-a-vis related to Pike. And like I was talking about, like, the him having beef with Ioun, him having the status as the key, might be what the curse is like this hereditary keyness that has been passed on through the blood. I thought that Pike wouldn't have it because she is devoted to Sarenrae, so maybe JB will have it back in Whitestone. She's the actual key, and then Sprig is just going to guide us to the key. He doesn't remember his previous name, so it leaves it open to be whatever we want it to be previously, like OG. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the entire theory was pretty centered around him being Pike's ancestor. But I don't know, maybe it came off differently. I don't know. Yeah. In your head, is there only one other adventuring party in the history of Matt's world? No. And this is like kind of my point about like the things that I theorize about is like I can fabricate a possible like a theoretical party at any point in my head. Like I can be, I if I had to be real about how many adventuring parties I think exist within Matt's world, I'd put it on the order of like more than 10, less than 1,000. Probably we'll go somewhere in the hundreds. We'll call it somewhere in the hundreds. I think it's around that order of magnitude. Maybe less. I would hedge less before I would hedge more. But it's very. But I don't know anything about those adventuring parties. I don't know how a standard adventuring party like interacts with the levers of government because Vox is very privileged in that way. I don't know how a standard adventuring party is viewed by the general public because we have only seen Vox after they're already kind of heroes of the realm-esque. So I just don't really know anything about adventuring parties in Exandria. So I can't even really theorize about the makeup of OG's previous adventuring party. I can't be like, oh, well, we know that adventuring parties normally have X, Y, and Z, so maybe one of OG's previous party members was Allura, or was Kima, or, was whoever. Right? I can't even go that far. But even that's still a connection back, right? If I'm not even going to make that sort of connection back, what am I doing? Am I just being like, I think that OG was traveling around with an elf who was a ranger, and I think a dwarf who was a fighter, and I think they only had 3 party members for just cause. Right? One of the reasons I center my theorizing so much around connections to the party is because that is the easiest thing. That is the thing I can connect or how do I say it? That's something I can theorize about while making up the least new information or new content. I really actually try to broadly avoid just manufacturing or fabricating proper noun stuff. I try not to make up organizations that I don't know already exist. I try not to make up characters that don't already exist unless they have been, directly mentioned by another character, but even then that's them existing. Yeah, I mean, if you track throughout my theories, at least this is my own perception of my own theorizing, I traditionally make up very few like proper noun things. Even my most ridiculous stuff, like the vampire sex dungeon or the moon tree. The moon tree is a great example where like I didn't make up the fact that there's a tree in the Feywild. I was theorizing about a known entity, the cancerous tree, and I was theorizing about its connection and its history and its place within the world, right? I was not saying the moon tree probably has, 7 branches or whatever, and the branches are named X, Y, and Z, because what would I have to go on there, Even like assuming me like at one point pattern matching that there may be a tree in the Shadowfell, that is me kind of manufacturing something, but it is following a pattern. And I normally try really not to hover on that sort of stuff because we just have nothing to really go on there. Like I can't really say anything about the character of a theoretical tree in the Shadowfell beyond what I think the moon tree probably looked like and like following out that pattern from there. So yeah, most of my theories are like, I guess you could call them like organizational theories. It's trying to figure out connections and histories and, places within the places as in like roles within the universe and the story and etc. I'm really rarely like, I think this will be like the qualities of this thing. Right. Or not qualities, but I really rarely like make stuff up. Or how do I say it? Completely fabricate things. I will fabricate like backstories for things that we already know exist, but not those baseline things. Yeah. I know that it'd be more realistic to have a relatively small number of adventuring parties, but only 2 in the world is pretty extreme. Yeah, no. I don't think there's only 2 in the world. I'm saying I'm only aware of 2 in the world. So like I only have like 2 in the world to base my knowledge of what an adventuring party is on. Yeah. I seldom hear vis-a-vis in streams these days. Well used. Thank you. Thanks. I appreciate it. I guess I was focused on all the Raven Queen and Divine stuff and didn't catch how it had to be related. All the Raven Queen and Divine stuff. What was I theorizing about the Raven Queen? I don't actually remember how I related things back to the Raven Queen. When I was talking about Sprig, what did I think was going on with the Raven Queen and Sprig? I believe you, by the way, that it happened. I'm not doubting that happened. I'm trying to remember how I thought the Raven Queen was related. You went on a tangent connecting OG Pike Mender to the Calamity. Oh, yeah, I did. I remember what you're talking about now. That's fair. That was mostly working in, oh yeah, and I was like, he might be like a warlock, and then that might inform the relate, like what the Raven Queen was up to, and kind of the what the followers of the previous Death God, like what happened to them afterward. I remember what we're talking about now. I forgot about all that. Sometimes I just don't remember shit, man. I don't know. But that is fair. I did talk about that for a while, so that's fair for that to be the standout part of the theory. We're doing theoretical adventuring parties. Sad Queen, Vecna, and King Dwendal. Who Mega knows exist, but almost nothing about them. Scanlan's father and Kaylee. See, that's my type of theory. It's taking a bunch of proper nouns that already exist. Like, yeah, I know fuck all about King Dwendal. So I love to theorize about, like, okay, I know this guy exists. So let's try to figure out what his deal is before he actually shows up. Yeah, those are my types of theories. Yeah. Don't forget Kima and Larkin. Yeah. I would say at a bare minimum 1,000 at active in the last 10 years from vibes alone. I was saying currently active. So not necessarily in the past 10 years. I would say in the hundreds order of magnitude. But like you said, purely based off vibes. Yeah. I'm curious, which two are you aware of? I want to make sure you're thinking of the same ones you know. The two adventuring parties, it is Vox Machina and Allura's former adventuring party with like Drake Thunderbrand. And there's a couple of groups that like there's an implication that there might be adventuring parties there. Like a lot of the mercenary stuff in Ank'Harel with like Mistress Asharu. It seems like, you know, I didn't get the full sense that they were all lone operators. I got the sense that maybe some of them operated in groups and those could be considered adventuring parties. And then also Patrick Rothfuss's character, Care. He seemed to kind of have something that resembled an adventuring party, but it was a little bit more official and hierarchical and military, whatever. So it's like, there's like kind of an adventuring, but that's why I've got to say, like, it's a little vague. I don't know. Those are the ones I'm thinking of. Yeah. Confirmed, Mega doesn't even remember when he completely goes off the deep. Sometimes I don't. Yeah. Also, apparently it is the actual CR anniversary. What? Really? I just meant it was Thursday. Whoa, crazy. That's crazy. That's a crazy coinky dink. Holy shit. The whoa. Oh wait, I see June 24th, but I know that these were posted later. Anyways, I don't know why I'm going back. I don't doubt you. I don't know why. I just wanted to see the number. Anyways, that's what I thought. I think those are the only ones that have been explicitly laid out. At least the ones that I can remember that were explicitly laid out. Yeah. I was curious if you had invented one in your head. I really don't do that much. Unless it is composed of existing characters. But even then, it would be like a historical one. It wouldn't be one that's, currently active. They didn't stream on YouTube for a while. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah. So that's I'm still like, bro could be a Trickfoot. I still get the feeling he could be a Trickfoot. And his whole, like, no name thing, his relationship with Ioun, and, like, Ioun has been, wounded for so long. Like, I don't think Ioun worship is at the level of Sarenrae worship in terms of, like, how much it's degraded. But it definitely seems like a minor cult within the spectrum of Exandrian worship. We know about Brahm Goldhand, and we know about, like, I think there's, like, the Cobalt monks. I know there's the Cobalt Reserve, and I know that the monks that manage the Cobalt Reserve had a name. Cobalt Soul. It seems like they do Ioun stuff, but, like, she doesn't have, like, a lot of temples, it seems. Even in, like, Vasselheim, it seems like the closest thing she has to a temple is the Cobalt Reserve, which makes sense for a knowledge goddess. Like, that's not crazy. But that's, like, very recent. So him being just like a random modern gnome who just so happens to be like this involved with everything. I don't know. And it's also paired with, if he had a very straightforward manner and backstory, I probably wouldn't theorize this much. But it's the fact that he's like, he is suspicious. Like, everything about the man is suspicious. And so he leaves a lot of room for theorizing as well. Oh, man. Stay up all day doesn't mean much. Yeah. Coinky dink is like top 20 English expressions for me. I do like me a coinky dink. That's fair. Instead of coincidence. Oh, man. I've never really thought about it like as an individual phrase, but I do like coinky dink. That's fair. Oh, man. 312 is the first step. Shit, that's crazy. 11th anniversary. Damn, that's wild. Maybe you could say that all libraries are temples to Ioun. Yeah, I think that would be fair. But they're not, they might all be temples, but they're not necessarily all like ritual and worship centers. Or maybe they are. I don't know about the fucking cultic practice of an Ioun worshiper. Maybe it is just fucking reading a book is how you worship Ioun. I don't know. It's possible. Shifty AF. Sprig is shifty AF, and I love him. He's the best. Get thee a man that can vis-a-vis and then coinky dink. Anyways, let's get rolling. Bah.
2 points of damage plus 2 points of psychic damage.
Oh my god. Okay, wait, I have to ramp up the speed. That was way too fast, way too fancy. We gotta slow it down and we'll slowly ramp it up. I gotta get my mind used to it.
17 points of damage plus 2 points of psychic damage.
How much is that? Sorry.
17 points of damage plus 2 points of psychic damage.
Okay. All right, he's still standing. Shot. And like he starts looking up to see where the shot came from, as the giant like bullet wound across the this is like through the torso and out the back of the shoulder was clean through. You hear him breathing, gasping for breath.
All right, I'm going to take another shot at him, and I'm going to make this a sharpshooter shot, and again with advantage because that's fun. And here we go. Oh, damn, almost a crit.
So close.
Yeah, that's 20, 28, 29. That hits.
That hits, yeah.
Roll damage. 14 points of damage. I'm sorry, 24 points of damage plus 2 points of psychic damage.
He falls to the ground, face first. The second shot hits him in the chest, and he just goes down, crumples, and there his body just kind of begins to smolder.
Okay, I use my bonus action to reload and stare at the nice person below me.
Alrighty. The next person.
I will say, if I was a cleric, if you forced me into the vestments, a true neutral knowledge goddess sounds pretty up my fucking alley. So I'll accept that one.
We'll start and Grog, you're up. You hear downstairs. There's a guy in front of you. He's like, and what are you gonna do?
Can I smash my touchstone knuckles together and cast enlarge on myself?
You can, and your head goes into the roof.
Well, it was
We're real sorry about your house.
There's no books in the roof.
It wasn't a house. It was a prison.
Oh!
Ah.
Then you're welcome.
Happy to read
I'm kind of hoping the floor.
The floor gives out. You, as your head in the ceiling, it falls out from under you. You come falling down on top of this guy.
Wow.
Rubble falls around. Keel needs to make a dexterity saving throw. I need Trinket to make a dexterity saving throw.
Dude. Oh, I wish I could pull this up. This is like maybe a good thing for me to highlight out loud about how my mind works and about how I interact with conversation, I guess. In chat, we had an entire conversation about how right or wrong you were, about how, right or wrong, you were convinced the Raven Queen was involved, but in reality, you just forgot it as soon as stream was over. I want to highlight this. When I am talking about anything, I operate as if I am 100% confident the whole time. But I am just picking the thing I am the most confident about. If I have 4 options for things to think, and they're all contradictory or whatever, I will pick the one that I am the most confident about, even if it's like, 5, 10, 15, 25% confident. I could just be as low as 25%. But if that is the thing I am the most confident about, even if it's only 25%, I'm going to act as if I'm 100% confident about it. Like, I don't... People used to tell me that it was really annoying. In like real life, when I'm interacting with people, they're like, sometimes people tell me I'm frustrating in arguments because they say that I change my mind very rapidly. But it's just that, like, at any time, I'm taking the thing I'm the most confident in, and I am just acting as though that is reality. And I don't know how I would not do that. I don't know how I would not operate under that, like, paradigm. I know that people don't, or that people operate differently. Like, they can, like, modify their speech to, like, portray their hesitance or their percentage confidence about things. I don't know how to do that. I've tried, man. So it's like, yeah, the whole, like, Ogden is, or not Ogden, fucking OG or Sprig is related to the Raven Queen. Like, when I was saying that, I believed it. But that doesn't mean it, like, made a huge impact on me. I was just saying the thing I believed at the time. And I might just forget about it. That's, only not everything sticks, because not everything is worth sticking to. Not everything's worth, keeping on the shelf, restocking, so to speak. So, sometimes I'll argue hard for something, but it's only because, like, that's, the thing I believe, and I want to understand what other people believe. Because I feel like that's the only way to tell if I'm wrong. I've already internally decided that this is the most likely thing. So the only way I'm going to change that is by talking to people or observing things in the outside world, right? I'm not a big meditation person. I should be. I wish I was a little bit more. But I am much more of a, like, I want to understand what other people think. Because if they think something different than me, that'll help guide my own internal thoughts on, like, why something else might be more likely. But anyways, I just wanted to highlight that because, yeah, I did forget about it as the moment stream was over. I would say I remember maybe 3/5 of the theories that I postulate, maybe 2/5, somewhere around 50%, I would say, about half, are the amount of theories that I put out there that I actually can recall later without prompting. Yeah. Oh, man. You were so adamant about it. And it's weird because, like, in my heart, I'm like, was I that adamant about it? But I just know after talking to people that is just always how I come off. Is that I am adamant. And I don't know. I don't know how to not be that. Oh, man. Gandalf is grog. You'd probably be great on the traders. My entire life, people were like, you should be a lawyer. Because you always sound so convinced. But it's too late to go to law school, I think. I think it's a little too I'm a little too old to go to law school at this point. To, like, do, like, pre-law and then law school. That's too much. That's too much for a country fella like me. There's no way. There's no way. I'm just a simple country lawyer. Or I'm not, well, actually explicitly not. Anyways, You started stream by saying you only ever theorize about things you believe are truly a big possibility. No. Well, I might have said that. Big possibility, you know, that's a vague statement. Big possibility in my head is like 10% or over, 5% or over. You know, what big possibility means is a little bit wibbly wobbly depending on the day, depending on my mood. So, but I always do believe that it is absolutely a possibility. Always. Always, always, always. Yeah. Neurodivergence at its finest. What the neurodivergent people took you literally. Oh no. Oh man. Couldn't be me. I'm always pondering. I should get an orb. I would love an orb. That'd be cool. Was I that adamant about it? Yes. See, I don't remember being that adamant about it. I know that all of you are always trying to fool me. That's why I have to stick to my guns. Because I know you're always trying to fool me. Or you're trying to think that you're trying to make me think that you're trying to fool me. Either way, I can't believe a word out of your mouth. So I have to stick to my guns on what's going on. Oh, man. There was an impressive level of conviction displayed regarding the theories. I mean, you know. I'm convinced myself, you know? How do I... Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I've already said this enough. I could move on. I should move on. But yeah, I just don't know how to not display conviction. I don't know how to believe nothing, you know? Like, if I think that something might be going on, I analyze all the options. I'm like, something's up with Sprig. What are the options for what's up with Sprig? And I'm going to pick the one I think is most likely. I don't know how to not be convicted about that. That's just, to me, that's just like what conviction is. It's believing that something is most likely. So I find something that's most likely, and I'm convicted in it. In thinking that. And, you know, I've recognized at this point that that's a little abnormal, but I don't know how to not be that. Yeah. Joe Pesci went late in life and was a great lawyer, and My Cousin Vinny. Well, that was fair. Hey, I don't even know that I would like being a lawyer, is the thing. But maybe I would. I don't know. Maybe I should look into it. I'm in my late 30s, and I'm thinking about going to law school. You can do it. You know, I've never seriously considered it. And I'm probably still not going to seriously consider it. But, you know, you guys have moved it up 2% in my head. And we all know that it just needs to beat out everything else that's in there. It's a pretty high bar. Hey, there we go. Yeah. Anyways, let's watch it. Let's do it.
The other guy at the Shadow Gas is going to he fails.
9, 14.
Alrighty. So Trinket, you, the Shadow Gas all take 22 points of bludgeoning damage. The roof caves in over on top, largely the upper floor. Now falls, and this guy stumbles and is now prone there. He also takes damage, and you take 22 points of bludgeoning damage from just like falling through the wreckage.
Trinket is half.
After Trinket is half, yes.
Ooh. Debris.
That kills him. The Shadow Gas right here.
Oh!
Because he had barely any left.
Yeah. But he just like he just gets rained on with rubble, broken, splintered wood and stone.
And the guy in Manners is still, he fell too, right?
No, he's still
actually, his part of the ceiling didn't fully collapse.
Okay.
He's just out of the way. Like he's kind of dangling off the edge right now, and as he shakes, it's kind of making its way towards the hole. Yeah, the whole ceiling didn't collapse, just the area right below.
Beautiful.
All right, so
Can I take Tweedledee right here to my right
Yeah.
and make 2 reckless attacks against him? They're not giants, right?
no, they're not giants. They're considered undead.
They're considered undead. 30 to hit. Mm-hmm. And the second
Big
one.
targets.
29.
Hits. Okay.
So 10. 8. 24 points plus the enlarge. 25.
All right, 25 with the first hit.
Whack. 20 plus 2. 22 with the second one.
22 damage on the second hit. Whack, whack, you're hitting it. You watch, when you land on its back, it has these metal spikes kind of jamming out of its flesh, and you can see what looks to be portions of other creatures that it had slain that have been like jammed on these spikes and rotted away on its armor. So as you're hitting it, you're knocking away parts of partially decomposed creatures that previously fell in battle to one of these creatures. And as you're slamming into it, you can see it's just rippling, partially decayed muscle that seems to be unnaturally strengthened by whatever necrotic energy keeps it stitched together and alive. It's a thick sack of hit points.
Wow. Cool. Good to know.
Is that your turn to do anything else?
With my... That's interesting.
Thick
Can I...
sack of
I'm going to go into a Frenzied Rage with my bonus action.
Okay. And that's in your turn? Okay. And Grog's turn, Vax, you're up.
Okay, I have enough movement without the wings.
Yeah, you heard all this go on, and now the whole building is starting to catch fire.
I'm going to bolt to that window.
Right
So I have no other way. So I have a view of Keyless, the creature, and Grog.
All right.
I'm going to throw Whisper. I've got Sharpshooter at that thing.
Okay.
And bamf there.
I will say, at proximity to the flames, right there, they're starting to catch. You do take 3 points of fire damage.
Fine. Okay, and
And you throw the dagger at the big guy.
Whisper goes to the window at that guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and roll an attack.
And it's flanking, right? Because of where Grog is or Keyless.
It's not flanking, but you get it as sneak attack modifier.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's 32.
Yeah, that hits. So you appear next to it.
3 plus psychic damage is 4 plus this junk. 10, 16, 18, 21, 24, 29, 33, double to 66 plus psychic damage 66, 74. Bamf there.
And you appear next to it. As the dagger sinks into its torso, you watch as its like chest muscles and iron cage-like armor around it seems to swallow the dagger. And as it goes inside, you watch some of the muscles all of a sudden fall off of its body, like whatever energy is holding together is untethered, and this weird kind of fleshy stitched-together creature is starting to fall apart. It's looking pretty hurt.
Okay, so here's what I wanted to do. So movement, and I have action, bonus action.
Action.
The rules. You can bust my balls all you
Well,
want.
that's your first attack. So you have your second attack.
So action for my regular attack, right?
Attack.
I'm just a minute.
I know.
Attack.
Attack. Use one of those
Hasted
attacks.
Action, bonus action.
Yes.
So that was the first of my attack.
Yes.
And here's the second one.
Okay.
Attack.
That's your
Attack.
next shirt. We have dagger. Now we have attack. There's our next t-shirt.
So that is
Just bonus
so
action.
I'm dumping a level 2 smite into this against an undead.
Yes.
That's 7, 10, 11. That's a bummer. Ooh, it's cocked.
Yeah, redo it.
17 for that hit
17 with the additional.
with action attack.
Right. Well, no, okay. But you said you dumped Divine Smite into that?
Into that one.
You did the additional damage for being undead?
Yes.
Okay, so that was how much total?
Whatever I just said, it was like 16.
17.
Okay. Next dagger, which I'll dump.
17 will do it, actually.
Ah.
So as you rush in, the second dagger, you jam up into the same space where it's falling apart, and you hear the spell from the inside as the divine energy radiates from the strike, and its body just kind of slaws off of the bones and around your arm. It just kind of slowly falls around your arm like an old gelatin and slips into the ground, covering the floor around you.
Okay, I'm going to do the old crouch. Just back up, not that she needs it, but crouch in front of Keyleth, and then I have my hasted action for an attack and bonus action for an attack into the other one. 29, and the second one is higher than 29, so I'm going to dump smite into the 3. You're making me mess up the math, Laura.
Psychic damage.
It's not. I can't keep track of the math.
Epic level D&D.
19, 25 on that towards that guy with smite added.
Yeah.
25, and then the last dagger with smite does at level 1 does 2 plus his 10.
What the fuck are you talking about?
14, 19.
19. Okay.
I dumped a ton of smite into that.
You didn't add your modifier to the third strike, right?
I don't know, so why don't you just -6? We'll call it, 19, we'll call it 13.
Okay.
Some people might have been catcalling me while I was trying to do math.
That's okay. I know, no worries.
Next.
All right, so you hit the 2 final strikes. They blast into it. You watch some of the armor gets thrown off its body. I know. It takes a little hit, but the other creature looks like it's largely all right. That finishes Max's turn.
Let me
Now,
enjoy my last 2 months of life.
what's the DC on the sphere again?
Hopeful.
Is it 20? 19. You can't escape from this freaking sphere. The Shadow Gas is just up on the second floor going. Manners, man. All right, Scanlan and Sprig, what do you guys want to do?
I have a question. The gentleman who had a arrow in his throat, he's gone, right? He's been blown apart.
Actually, make a perception check.
Okay, that's a 20.
Yep, D20 and then add your perception modifier.
Got it.
Like a great.
That's a 15. Plus, that's a 17.
A 17, okay. You glance over and you see 2 guys who are hiding amongst the bushes on the side there.
Okay. Can I? Now it's too far away to cast a spell.
No, depending on the spell's range, depending on what you want
Tasha's Hideous Laughter.
to do. That we can do.
That's such a good spell.
Or Tasha's
It's a
Hideous Laughter.
fun one.
Yes.
Alrighty, so bring up Tasha's here. Looking at the range.
Ta-ta-ta.
There we go. It's a 30 feet range, so you want to get up and get a little closer, probably.
I will do that if I
Alright,
could.
so it's half your movement, and you can move 2 more spaces, and you can hit 1 guy. So 1 guy you choose, one of these 2 you can select.
The first one.
Down there?
Yes.
Alrighty.
I think his name is Dave. Roll perception.
I guess make a saving throw, wisdom save. That is a 10 plus 0, a 10. I'm pretty sure spell DC is 17. So you watch as the guy there who has his crossbow out and sees you get up, spins around, has this giant heavy crossbow, the bolt, very recognizable because you still have 3 of them in your body. Aims it towards you and then suddenly just drops the crossbow to the ground and doubles over laughing, falling to the ground, and is now kicking and laughing like a hyena right now, unable to do anything.
Knock, knock. Right.
All right, is that your turn?
Yes, it is.
All right.
There's another guy over there. Have I seen him yet?
You haven't actually. You do see this guy's on fire right now who's still around.
Oh, I see somebody.
Yeah, and you see that hulking figure come running through, and you hear the back of the
At the
building.
beginning of the round, I'll say, guys, I think large giants are coming. Be aware. I can't hear you. Speak clearly.
No cross channel. No cross channel.
Okay. Shit. I'll approach the guy I can see burning on fire. Is there? That's where the front door is, right?
Yeah.
Is he in front of the front door?
He's like fog. It's like right up in this area.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, that.
Okay.
So I'll take out my wand of magic missiles, and I will just take down the rope.
One of those should take down the rope.
You watch as like 3 missiles fire out of the wand and slam into the bits of rope up top. As they explode, it's enough of an impact to cause it supposed to fall straight down. It's kind of like spin and fall. I'm gonna go ahead and roll a dice and see which direction it's gonna land from its front point. So we'll say inward would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a 6. So it plummets down, hits the ceiling, scrapes off and slams down onto him. He's gonna try and make a dexterity saving throw. That is a 7 plus 4. Nope, that's an 11. Go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll 48, please.
Wicked bitch.
Is this Dr. Comedy who's writhing and laughing?
I think so.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, no, sorry, he's over here. This guy's on fire from earlier.
I don't know if this is the YouTube player that is unsynced in terms of audio, or if this is the actual episode that is unsynced. I'm going to rewind it just a second to where it, like, paused, which I think was... Oh, I don't remember where it was. Like, right around here? I'll just go back to this.
Guys, I think large giants are coming. Be aware.
Okay. Okay, it's synced up. It's synced up now.
I hear you. Speak clearly.
No cross channel. No cross channel.
Okay. Shit. I'll approach the guy I can see burning on fire. Is there? That's where the front door is, right?
Yeah.
Is he in front of the front door?
He's like fog. It's like right up in this area.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, that.
Okay.
So I'll take out my wand of magic missiles.
So it happened again. So I'm going to assume that this is a CR issue.
And I will just take down the rope.
One of those should take down the rope.
You watch as like 3 missiles fire out of the wand and slam into the bits of rope up top. As they explode, it's enough of an impact to cause it supposed to fall straight down. It's kind of like spin and fall. I'm gonna go ahead and roll a dice.
That's a pretty negative view you've got there about YouTube. Hey, but
which direction it's gonna land from its front point. So we'll say inward would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a 6. So it plummets down, hits the ceiling, scrapes off and slams down onto him. He's gonna try and make a dexterity saving throw. That is a 7 plus 4. Nope, that's an 11. Go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll 48, please.
Wicked bitch.
Is this Dr. Comedy who's writhing and laughing?
I think so.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, no, sorry, he's over here. This guy's on fire from earlier. Yeah.
Oh, that's a 5. 16.
Was missing damage.
16.
16 points of damage to him.
That's not a lot.
You only got 16 on 48.
It's not enough to kill him, but it slams on him and then falls over. You see both of his flaming hands on the ground. He's currently restrained underneath it right there, and on fire.
Nice.
Knock, knock. Right.
All right, you can stay where you are.
No, I'm going to move towards any entrance or window I see. I can't really see over there, but
There's window here, window here. This one has like flames in front of it. This one's
I'll
available.
go towards.
Oh, yeah. Okay, this is not a YouTube thing. This is... I'll go towards that no audio other one. This is... Something's going on with Critical Role. Not YouTube.
That other one.
Okay.
That other one.
5 as far as you can move there. You see the guy on the ground just laughing in front of you.
And now we're back.
Thanks to him. And for bonus, I guess I will inspire Darren DePaul, or rather, Sprig.
Why not both? Yeah.
I will sing to him. You had a bad day, you're getting knocked down. I'll sing you a song just to turn it around. You say you don't know, but please don't die. I'll sing you this song and maybe you can go for a ride. I don't know how that song goes.
All right. So you get an inspiration die. You get a D12 that you can just use on any sort of skill. You don't use right now. But whenever you use like a skill check or an ability check, you can add that to it if you want to. There you go.
Thank you. You know, I had a bad day.
You had a bad day.
All right, so now it's the assassin's turn. Keyleth, how much fire damage does it do when they're on fire? Is it D10?
It does, oh geez, Firestorm.
It's okay.
Yeah, no, D10.
D10, thought so. All right, he takes 8 fire damage.
Yay. Under a log.
Under a log. He's gonna try and break free from restrain. Nope. That is a 14. He cannot move that giant tree that's currently crushing him on the ground. He tries to reach out for his crossbow and aim it out towards Sprig with one hand because it's still loaded, but he has super disadvantage on the strike. Super. It is now. It just sounds epic.
Super disadvantage.
All right,
Only when you're stuck under a tree on fire.
12. I'm sure I'll do a 3. All right, 8, 12, 12. I made him roll super disadvantage. So you see him like this is what funk? What does it remind me of? Oh, it's like a terrible old sci-fi movie with the bad guys on the ground with the gun trying to like aim it at the hero with his final shot, and the hero just kind of walks and steps on the gun. You just kind of sidestep the bulbs it fires. Nothing on you.
Of course.
The crossbow drops.
Knock, knock. Right.
Alrighty, that ends his turn.
Comedy comes in 3.
This guy back here is going to go ahead and, since you're the one who has his friend riding on the ground, he's going to go ahead and try and shoot you with his crossbow. You do see him, though he's unaware of that. So he thinks it's a sneak attack shot. That is a 14.
better kill this man.
I know, seriously. They come in large numbers, but so yeah, this one just hits the tree to your left. His aim's off. Exactly.
If you want better crossbow.
And he goes ahead and darts behind this building there. He's vanishing.
Did I see the bolt or any indication?
You do. He reveals himself when he fires. So you watch him come out of the bushes and fire and then duck around the side of the building. The guy on the ground is going to try and save against your spell. That is a 13 plus 0. Nope, he's still laughing. He's just like like tears in his eyes now.
God, I love that spell.
That's the end of the assassin's turn. Necro's dead. Vex, you're up.
I'm going to Hunter's Mark the big undead monster in the room. And then I'm going to shoot him with a blazing bowstring.
Carefully with the
Oh, but I'm going to use the sharpshooter thing, right?
Take -5 and do additional damage. Okay.
Which I don't know if I should have done that on this particular one. It was 17
17?
to hit.
17 is exactly his armor class.
Oh!
Spellork, wait.
Okay. And then, okay. 5 plus 8 is 13. 13 plus sneak attack, because he's got trinket next to him.
Yep.
13. 18. God damn it. 23, sorry. 23, and then lightning damage. 24. 25, 26. And then blazing bowstring. God dang, 27.
27. Okay, so it's your first strike?
Yeah.
First one is from the sides, the bolt of energy arc out, and the flames kind of burn up the arrow. By the way, the wall behind you is starting to get really warm.
I'm going to move forward.
Okay.
I'm going to actually move toward the corner where Keyleth is.
Okay, so you kind of dart. There's a guy on the ground there.
Oh, there is?
So, yeah, so you gotta step over him.
Yeah, I'm going to step on him as I.
Okay, as you move past, he does get a swing with a short sword at you.
Okay.
Wow, actually, that's a 25.
Oh, wow, he hits me. Probably because I stepped on him.
I think so. So you take 5. It's 4, you take 9 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
Just like, you're walking past.
I'm gonna. He's on the. Oh shit. Okay, I'm gonna hit the big hulking thing again.
I really see disadvantage, but I rolled another 18, so it's fine.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Way to burn those, man. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing with the big hulking guy.
Okay.
25.
25 hits, yeah.
And then. Okay. Oh, I did add plus 10 to the previous one.
Because of the sharpshooter. All right. It's 30,
Nice.
39 last time,
Yeah.
so go ahead. That's what you get.
Thanks. 12, 13, 14.
You're up next, Keyleth.
14 plus 6 is 22.
Figure
No,
out
20.
how you're going to ruin
20
this
plus
Darren's life more.
I know. That's
32,
one goal in life.
32.
How do I? I'm a big old homewrecker.
I find
literally.
Sprig's
think
box
that's
of
just
old
32
photographs
seconds.
All right, so the second arrow slams into him, still holding firm. It's taking the hits, and you see like parts of his body are starting to spill kind of black liquid out of the wounds. It's just like its red eye still beaming out from behind the metal mask in front of his face. Its arm kind of swings back and tears some of the ceiling kind of beams out with it. It's looking pretty rippy right now. Is that end your turn?
I guess so.
All right, Keyleth,
Is
you're
it
up.
fireproof safe? No? Okay.
Keyleth, you're up.
All right, so I have this big asshole in front of me.
Yes.
Yeah? The house is catching on fire, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nope, she'd still be really upset and really angry. So continuing what I was saying before, she's gonna rage a little bit more and go into her fire elemental self.
Okay.
Unable to contain her frustration.
This is a good plan.
Yeah.
You technically
Looking
enter
all
the
fire.
you technically enter the space of the guy who's on the ground becoming a fire elemental, which lights him on fire.
Okay.
Nice.
Even more upset, and then I'm gonna move right in the space of this guy.
So like occupying his space from this side, we'll say.
And I'm gonna do my multi-attack.
She can catch you guys on fire. I don't think she.
doesn't have to.
I'll double check that real fast.
I mean, I'm magical.
Sparkle fire.
You're a
I
magician.
sparkle fire.
So we can kind of take it.
Yeah, it's fire a little bit.
Not to be a dick, man.
You know what? So I can move through spaces in there once or twice, so I'll say yes, you can maneuver through. Only if you want to, when you set things on fire.
Okay.
Wanna burn us, you can.
I'm gonna go into this guy's space, engulf in flames, and do my multi-attack to slam touch attacks. Cuckoo.
Go for it.
Cuckoo. Okay.
So he is now in flames.
Number, it's cocked. Ooh, that's good. 21.
21, yeah.
And 16.
16 chest misses.
Fucking balls. Okay. No. Plus 6 to 11. That's 17. 17? Okay.
So you needed.
So both of those hit 2d6 plus 3. First one is 3, 5, 8, plus, say, 5, 7, 10. So 18 fire damage.
Okay.
And then I'm going to stay in this guy's
It's looking
space.
pretty
He
hurt.
is
As you slam
now
with both
on
your flaming
fire.
hands and claw across his body, where the flame hits, you see it like singes through the flesh and drags the kind of charred remains of where the muscle once was, where you drag your claws through. The body's starting to shake as it's holding its form together, but yeah.
That's all I got, I think. That's it.
No, you have action.
All right,
Bonus
then.
action.
Hasted action.
Haste action.
Lay on hands.
Send all
Action.
your complaints to Mike Mills and Chris Perkins at Wizards of Ghost.
Not to be a dick. Has anyone stepped on the trap on the floor?
As Vax. Actually, you know what? Vax would have avoided it because Vax is in the spot where it was, but Vax knew where it was, so Vax would have probably
So
gone
cool.
over it.
You're just like, you're doing the little splits over it.
Yeah,
Wait,
totally Van Damming it.
you wouldn't have because when you threw the dagger,
Let's do it.
It disappeared.
it's not a big deal. Thank you for pointing that out.
But your boots are gone.
She stole him again? How did you do it?
You guys glance upward as you hear zwoof, and up above you in the hole in the ceiling where there once was nothing
What?
but air,
You are lying.
you see hovering above you a giant beholder just appear. All of its eye stalks kind of curling around it.
What do you mean it's not a big deal? That's the part that I'm confused of.
What?
Thank you for that. So that finishes your turn.
What?
Pike's turn. Pike's gonna go ahead.
Okay.
Pike sees this.
Hang
We're
on.
retconning that in. I'm retconning. I'm
All
gonna
right.
see it.
Don't get Gargamel angry.
Yeah, does that mean that Keyleth would have seen the beholder beforehand?
Oh, jeez. Okay.
You know what? Don't worry about
No,
it. Do I
you were
fuck
so
that shit?
angry.
Took it
Yeah.
6
It's
seconds.
Good. Fair question for her to ask. Also appropriate retraction of like, does that mean Keyleth would have blah, 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 blah. And then it's like, actually, let's not worry about it. I'm super open to retconning those sorts of things. I think that's totally fair for Matt to do. And especially, for it to be like, we're not going to try to rewind time here. We're just going to put it out there. And that'll be it. I am generally more along the lines of like, if it didn't happen and dice have been rolled since then, it is either it's not happening in the past. It's happening now. So Vax shifted his feet or something during, the other people's turns. And that triggered the trap. So when he landed, he did not trigger the trap, but then he shifted his feet a little bit to trigger the trap. Now, I generally don't like to have characters implied to be incompetent in any way. I generally, like, the tone for my tables is competent characters, broadly speaking. But if we're already retconning, I'm fine with having the reason that it's happening later be slight incompetence or something like that. So it would be like okay, if this is a big thing that needs to happen and we are retconning it and dice have been rolled, it's just happening now, even though it should have happened in the past. Whoa, it's a wild, magical, temporal surge. Who cares? Move on. So I'm down for like player beneficial retcons as long as dice haven't been rolled, dice haven't hit the table, or there hasn't been like NPC action based on PC action or whatever. But for this sort of thing where it's like something just like should have happened, someone should have made a roll to see if they're still asleep or to check for concentration or, any of those things that are just programmatic parts of the game that just should have been triggered, but just no one noticed. For all of those sorts of things, I'm down to just say, oh, they should have happened in the past, but they're just gonna happen right now. And none of us noticed that. That might be player-sided, that might be GM-sided. But, we noticed right now, so we're just gonna implement it right now. And if we don't want that to happen again, we all need to pay better attention. And I think you go through it quickly. That's why I'm like, fair reaction for Marisha to have, to be like, wouldn't Keyleth have XYZ? But you just need to not worry about that. And which she does. She immediately is like, nope, never mind. And Matt is trying to spin a story justification of, no, you were so angry, blah, 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 blah. Who cares? That's fine. Spin a one-sentence story explanation. Wild magic surge. Wipe your hands of it. Did Matt say thank you for that in response to, I don't understand how this isn't a big deal? A little bit. My 2 big data points on if I'm willing to retcon: have dice rolled, and was it my fault? If dice has rolled, no retconning, unless it was my fault, then maybe. Yeah, I mean, in this case, like, Matt should have been on it, but also, to an extent, the characters were aware of, or sorry, I shouldn't even say the characters. The players were aware of the trap. I think that is, like, majority on the GM to manage traps, especially. But, we're all working together. I think it's partially on the players. And I'll make up a percentage. We'll say 75-25. If it's something that Matt did, which in this case, the Dungeon Master is the one that made the trap in this case, I think it's primarily on the person that created it to manage it. Similar thing with something like Bardic Inspiration, right? Which is one of the reasons I think Bardic Inspiration is kind of strange, is because really the person who's mostly like responsible for remembering it is the bard, but they give it to someone else, but it's hard for that other person to remember it because, it's not a feature on their sheet. One actually my problems with Bardic Inspiration, but let's imagine Bardic Inspiration as an example. I'd say it's primarily on the bard to remember it and about 25% on everyone else, including the GM. So, and same thing with like caster concentration. I'd say it's primarily on a caster to remember that they are concentrating and remember that they have to make a concentration roll while they're concentrating. And it's minorly on everyone else at the table, maybe a little bit more on the GM than the other players. That sort of thing. So especially for something like this, you know, I'm willing to retcon it if people are cool with it. And if you're retconning, just go fast, just get past it. And I'm sure the internet at the time really praised her for this reaction and then rolling with it. Yeah, I'm sure. And Sam never misses a chance to level the field. Yeah.
You don't quite see what that hole was. The mummy backed away. And, you know,
Man, so much blind rage.
so much blind rage. Look, guys, what do we do? So we're doing. All right. So
Yeah.
anyway, Pike
Yeah.
does actually
Whatever.
make an insight check and says, "It's not real. Don't worry about it." Fixed.
It's not a big deal, you guys.
Not a big deal.
So that Pike, however, is going to go ahead and make another guiding bolt at the large guy there. That's going to be
Not a
20
big
that hits. It's going to be 46.
How would Pike know that?
Radiant damage.
Whatever.
So you watch as Pike blasts it in the face with the guiding bolt and it hits the mask. Gets thrown
Maybe
off,
she
and where
made
the
an
face where the head
investigation
was beneath
check.
it,
Doesn't
You see
matter.
this just empty black void with 2 red burning coals for eyes that just blink out as soon as the mask is removed, and the whole body just crumbles to the ground and turns into a horrible, thick, black, purple ichor.
I'm gonna have nightmares about that.
Sure.
The beholder is still upstairs, staying in place, going, yeah, that kind of thing.
Awesome. Brilliant.
Alrighty, that ends Pike's turn. They're both dead. So it brings us back. Percival, it's your turn. There's the one guy on the ground there, one's laughing. We'll say for the purposes of this, for the time, most everything there is not much of a threat at this point. So systematically, the guy on the ground who's hidden by the tree, you can just...
I'm ignoring him. I'm not even gonna deal. I'm just hopping in the window. I'm gonna grab my little guy there. I'm gonna bring him out to the balcony, and I'm going to
interesting.
unceremoniously toss him out of the house.
Wait. I wanna lower the speed really quick. Let me see. He routed off. Pike does an insight check. Did dice actually hit the table? They might have. I don't think it matters too much. If I'm being honest, I don't really care.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing.
Awesome. Brilliant.
Alrighty, that ends Pike's turn. They're both dead. So it brings us back. Percival, it's your turn. There's the one guy on the ground there, one's laughing. We'll say for the purposes of this, for the time, most everything there is not much of a threat at this point.
Most everything there. Does he mean like the combatants left in the combat, or just the combatants, or only like a subset of the combatants? If it's only a subset, not a fan. If he's like, these guys don't matter anymore, but these guys do, But if he's saying everyone left in the combat is not really a threat, we don't need to go through how you guys clean them up, that is perfectly fine with me. I am totally fine with montaging cleanups in combat. I don't have there's no, I think, there's no formulaic way I can say to test if you've gotten to a montage state. But if you look at a combat and you say the PCs not only have won, but have clearly won, everyone is aware that they have won, and it's not even a question of are some of them going to escape, or are some of them going to potentially knock someone down, and so they'll take a level of exhaustion if you're playing with that variant rule, right? Basically nothing else mechanically interesting can happen, or it's extremely unlikely that anything mechanically interesting will happen. I think it's totally fine to montage the end of a combat, say you guys clean them up, and move on, because sometimes it can take a sec, especially with the way that attack rolls work, with the way that saver suck spells work. There's very few ways to do guaranteed damage. So there is a chance that even if victory is guaranteed, basically nothing the enemies can do, they have no mechanical impact that they can make, there's a chance that, the fighter might whiff all 4 of their attacks. That's just the way that the dice go. And that's not really a problem with the dice, but it does mean that there's kind of always a chance that combats could last literally indefinitely. The chance isn't high, but I don't think there's anything wrong with montaging it at a point like this, where all of the main combatants are dead, the other ones are either disabled or dying. We can skate to the end. Would you describe the PCs ending them or the guys surrendering? I would say we can, if the guys if the guys would surrender, yeah, I might I definitely think about like morale. In fact, in the session that I ran last week, we weren't even at like a fundamental stopping point. Like the character or the NPC that they were fighting definitely could have still done some stuff and still had a mechanical impact, but we had reached the point where he would have surrendered. So I had him surrender. We went out of combat. But so if the guys would surrender, I absolutely would do that sort of thing. Even before we get to this point. If they wouldn't surrender and they would just like fight to the death, or try to run away, but they have no chance of escaping, I would take us out of initiative and say, kind of do what Matt's doing right now, of everything here is not a threat. You know, you guys can deal with this any way you want. Do you want to non-lethal the rest of them? Do you want to capture them? You guys have won the combat. You get to decide how this ends. We don't need to run through the mechanics of it. Basically, take us out of the mini game that is combat and kind of treat the rest of the combat like we're kind of in the social pillar. You know, maybe make like 1 or 2 checks to, you know, I don't know, test the strength of their knots if they're taking them captive. Probably not even that. You know, I would just make it very, very soft, take us out of the rules heavy kind of area, and treat it more like we're in like a social encounter, but part of that social encounter is that they can kill people. So that if they so desire. Yeah.
So systematically, the guy on the ground.
Basically the opposite. I've mentioned, you know, taking the players into initiative even outside of combat. I've equated it to like the Baldur's Gate 3, you know, out of combat turn-based moments. It's kind of the reverse of that almost, where you're still in combat, but we're going out of initiative. And we're going into a more, you know, cinematic montage-y sort of experience. We're not needing to roll attack rolls to see exactly how many attacks it takes you. We don't need to roll attacks and damage and pick individual spells and whatever. We just assume they are so beaten at this point that with your, you know, even your free resources, you are going to be able to handle this no problem. So just describe how you do it. Kind of a how do you want to do this, but for the entire combat, I suppose, is maybe a way to think about it. Yeah. Cutscene at the end of the mini boss battle. Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Hidden by the tree, you can just.
I'm ignoring him. I'm not even going to deal. I'm just hopping in the window. I'm going to grab my little guy there. I'm going to bring him out to the balcony, and I'm going to unceremoniously toss him out of the house.
Hey!
Sure. Yeah, we don't need to roll a fucking contested athletics check for that shit. Yeah.
Okay. Outside the house.
Absolutely.
I'm dragging him away from the fire.
Make an athletics check.
Okay.
Those are acrobatics check.
Acrobatics?
Okay, well,
Bless you for an acrobatics
you
check.
know,
I'm rerolling.
we don't need to. We don't need to. But, like, we don't need to go through, we don't need to count you know. Yeah, okay. It's a little bit ironic that Matt did the exact thing after I said we don't need to do that. But I will, you know, to defend Matt a little bit even more. We don't need to count movement. We don't need to say I'm dragging him even after you win the contested athletics. So we don't need to say, okay, your movement is halved. We don't need to do all that stuff. You know, just make it as light as you want. You know, I even compared it to, you know, taking it into a more social pillar type place, a skill check place. So if you want to do an athletics check, totally. I don't think you need to. You can just say, yeah, Percy, you do it. But it's fine. All of these are just time-saving and pace-saving things. You can absolutely play out the entire rest of the combat. Like, there's nothing wrong with doing that. It's just you can cut a lot of things at this sort of point to save on time, save on pacing. Which I think Matt I think Matt said directly, like, 4 times sake or something along those lines. So that's like the reason you would do this sort of thing.
That. Oh, can I do
and however much you want to check.
Oh, that's fine. That's 16.
I'll say for the purposes of this.
I had the spider climb boots.
Right, I know. But spider climb boots only helps you if you keep on the surface.
Yeah.
So as you leap, you manage to land on your feet, but the flames do catch you a bit. So you take.
Damn it, that's a nice coat.
Take 6 points of fire damage as you start to burn.
Gives a character.
Alrighty. So, for the purposes of time on this one, the guy who's currently under the log just burns to death there under the log pin. He's trying to reach for his crossbow, but he's only fired the one bolt that was loaded in it. The guy on the ground is still laughing as you approach him.
Are there any rocks about?
Yeah, there's quite a few, like heavier rocks on the ground.
Yes. Well, I look at him and I say it was a prison, but it was my prison. And I use the telekinesis ring to lift a rock and drop it on his head.
The horrible, sickening cracks on it slams into the head. You lift it up. The laughing has stopped.
Yep, we don't need to roll for an improvised weapon or anything like that. We just, how do you do this? For the sake of brevity. In a legendary cutscene, how are you going to do this? Yeah.
But he's still like moving, and you can see like the face is kind of broken, the nose is smashed to the side, and it's just blood, and he's like starting to try and get back up.
Oh, God. Well, tell them that Ethred Broken Branch sends his regard.
Ethred Broken Branch.
You let him get up?
Yes.
He gets up. And then runs off into the woods. Okay, we'll say for the purposes of this, he runs off in the distance. And just falls to the ground, no longer moving. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So.
Can I kill the guy on the floor? Just if you mind, please. Can I please smash him? The guy that's like.
If you mind, can I smash him? I wanna smash him, please. Whoa, the transcript looks different. I don't know how I feel about it. It looks weird. Ethred Broken Branch. Now, there's I would say, high probability that Sprig is fucking with this guy. High probability. I want to make that clear. But I gotta write it down. Like, I gotta write it down.
On the floor in the house, please.
Just sit on him. Just sit on him.
Just in case.
I haven't Gallaghered anybody in a while.
Yeah, he's on the ground, like on fire now from the front. I'm going, patting up the fire.
Put him out.
He spends his action kind of putting the fire out now. And he's like,
He like, takes a few steps back and kind of motions as a fire elemental.
Skip.
just smashed on the ground. Red watermelon.
Fire's out. I'm assuming.
I drop my fire form, turn, see my anger, destruction, get immediately guilty, and then do a tidal wave to kind of, quell the flames.
Okay. So the building is pretty. it's standing.
And you know what? Compliments to Matt, because at the start of this stream, I was like, "Oh, I don't really know if much is going to happen. I think they're going to be fighting for most of the rest of the ep." They might have been had Matt not, for the sake of brevity, kind of ended the combat early. Because that was a much quicker wrap up than if they had wrapped it up via the actual combat mechanics. Maybe they still would have had enough time, but it was definitely faster. And especially, I've given Matt a lot of shit for pacing stuff in the past. Solid pacing decision, I think.
Mostly, the whole front of it is blackened. The flames are gone. Most of the interior is destroyed. You have 2 giant holes in the back. Most of the upper ceiling is ruined. The house is in shambles.
What about the books?
A lot of them have been destroyed. Some of the ones in the back wall have been burned. Some of them have been burned by people in flames or made of flame, or just general like blacker that spilled out. The house is pretty.
Can I go over to them and see if I can find some books I think Percy would like?
Make an investigation check.
I'm running over to see that staff with an eye in it.
Okay.
27.
27. Okay, you start glancing through. You find some history books. You find some that relate to local history. You see some books that relate to various types of creatures, some animals and beasts. Many other encyclopedias of various rivers, and it's kind of scattered everywhere. It's just universal knowledge of pretty much anything you can get his hands on. So some of it seems less useful than others, but you handpick a few out that you think Percy would like. Okay.
I don't mean that's the obvious question, but how did he know we were here?
No, that's not an obvious question. I have no idea.
They have multiple eyes. But how was he watching us? Is he scrying on us?
Must have.
Oh, he's
Maybe-
fucking scrying on us.
Maybe he can feel you the way you can feel him.
You get the sense that's not how this works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, sir, legitimately.
He had another eye, right?
Does that thing?
Matt, look, this is tough, but I can't remember what I said this about the other, a few streams ago, but I was like, if you're gonna do it, commit to it. Like, don't pull out at the last minute. You get the sense that's not how this works, is like, it's not totally unreasonable, right? Like, it's not the least reasonable thing to say. It seems plausible that maybe Vax could have that sort of sensation. But it doesn't seem super likely to me. I don't know. I want to like really temper this critique with it is tough. You have to get used to it. You have to practice with it. But if you're introducing like soft powers or, you know, extra senses and extra sensory stuff, I am personally of the belief that the most satisfying way for players to learn about those things is via experimentation. And so telling them that's not how this works is reducing the opportunity to learn things about it. Right. So like, and it's, I hope that I'm trying to convey that I am torn about this, because on the other hand, I also pretty firmly established last stream that I think they are being scryed upon, and I think that they need to get anti-scrying technology by the end of the episode. Otherwise, it's going to be tough for Matt to justify Vecna not just sending another hit squad. So if I'm Matt in this position and I am hearing that they might be going off in a direction that is not the scrying, and especially if it has to do with a relatively new soft mechanic that I introduced, that there is, you know, an amount of ambiguity on, you know, my fear is spiking. Because all of a sudden, and especially if they've said the right answer out loud, you know, I don't know. I'm torn on it. It is like something that goes against my general philosophy and preferences, but this is a specific contextual situation where I think that breaking those preferences is probably warranted. It depends. It depends on if it actually is scrying. It unfortunately depends on information that I do not have access to right now, but Matt does. But if it is something like a scry where Vecna could repeat this potentially later today, definitely tomorrow, like if it is that sort of mechanic, you probably do need to dissuade them. Like, it's a little bit of the risk that you took with making that a thing. And I don't think it was unjustified to make that a thing, to be clear. But, you know, just because it's justified doesn't mean there's not risk. And we're hedging towards one of the, I think, negative outcomes represented by that risk. And so, you know, breaking or going away from a larger preference that you might have, you know, can be justified sometimes. So I'm torn here. I don't, in theory, I don't like the decision, but in the concrete moment, I think there's a really good chance it probably is justified. Tough to say. I'll have to, you know, if I still remember this when we find out what's actually happening, I'll have to reevaluate. I feel like there's a meta time-based constraint that led him to nudge away from a Vax auto sense, final arc plus guest, etc. There are meta things to consider, but honestly, at least in my view, and, you know, not knowing exactly what's going on, like, the thing that I would prefer in theory, when looking at a soft power like this with this extra sensory stuff, is to watch them take the in-fiction time to experiment with it. I think that's going to be the most satisfying way to explore that ability. But I do think we are, depending on how Vecna found them, we're probably on an in-fiction clock. And so allowing that opportunity for experimentation might be not advisable. Depending on what the consequences of that kind of pressure expiring are. I don't know. If you want them to know they're being scryed upon, next time they make a random saving throw, initiate an Arcana check. This is the extra tough part. To me, it doesn't seem like Matt actually wants them to know they're being scryed upon. I think he wants them to come to that conclusion on their own and think of a solution on their own, especially given the fact that he has scryed on them in the past and they have not modified their behavior in any way to account for that, even after, knowing or realizing that Vecna is a powerful wizard. And I don't fully even blame them for that, really. But I get the sense that Matt wants them to come up with the solution here. But I also think that, not solving the problem has a outsized negative impact. So he's trying to steer them away from any time wasters while also not giving them hints or progress towards the actual solution. I think that's what's going on here. I can't be totally certain, but it's a tricky line to walk. And it is, it's one of the reasons I don't have a lot of caster big bads, just to put it frankly. Magic in the hands of NPCs, especially high level NPCs, powerful magic, is kinda tough to I don't want to say it's kind of tough. It's probably like working with soft magic, where I think it's probably very tough at first to deal with and to manage well as a GM and for your players. I have not put in the time to figure out how to manage it well. There's probably ways to do it, but if you're looking for them, you're probably not going to find them with me. I much more often have ecological repercussions or factional big bads with a lot of people working together. So it's not like one very high level individual. I have monsters. Super duper powerful casters like this with a ton of magical resources and underling powerful casters. I've got no experience. And this is one of the things that hesitates me, that makes me hesitant about diving into it. I think Matt's trying to thread a needle here, and we're getting... I think the fact that he's trying to thread that needle is becoming more and more clear in a way that I don't like. But this is also the sort of situation you're probably going to have to put yourself in, just inevitably, if you want to get better at having really powerful casters as your villain or your BBG, or just, really standout forces in the world. If you want to run a Vecna as a really substantial villain, you probably do have to practice this sort of thing and like figure out the patterns. Like, how can I encourage my players towards realizing they're being scryed upon? And what are the sorts of things they can do to combat that? And how can I foreshadow those things? Or how can I gently encourage them towards those sorts of things? If I'm going to do that sort of thing, should I mix it with like a soft magic, non-mechanical, or at least non-raw, extrasensory ability? Like, you know, this might be a moment where Matt realizes like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't have done these things at the same time. Maybe I should have given it, you know, a magical item, or maybe I should have made it more clear from the jump with the Raven Queen, where she explains a little bit more of what this does and makes it clear that it can't track them back. You know, this is like a learning process that I have not undertaken and don't have a lot of interest in undertaking, to be frank. But if you do want to run powerful casters, these are, I don't want to say probably, these are definitely the sorts of things you have to think about. Is like how to handle it when your players realize that your powerful caster enemy can scry on them at any and all times. Like, how do you deal with that? Because it's something that you have to have an answer to as a GM. You can't just rely on your players to answer it for you, because you kind of define the field of possibility. So, not my cuppa, but I can respect what is going on here, even if it results in behavior that I wouldn't personally do or recommend. I kind of do recommend it if you're trying to learn a particular thing. If you're not trying to learn a particular thing, I don't know.
You have an eye in it?
The staff you see, it's a carved eye. It's just made of wood and painted. It's ornamental. It's mainly used as a focus. It technically acts as a +1 staff.
Sprig,
What, the necromancers?
We just had a marble.
I'll take it.
you said this place was a prison.
Yes.
Did you mean that?
Of course I meant it, boy. I've been there for years.
Could you leave if you wanted?
Of course I can. Prison was more up here than in there.
Well, sorry about the prison then.
Why would you be sorry? I asked you for power and redemption. Don't you feel you gave me that? We lived, child. We all lived.
Yep. Yes.
It was a good
That is indeed what I was hoping for.
I lean out the window. Hey, Sprig!
Hello?
Hi.
Hi,
Anything valuable
how are
in here?
you?
I'm well.
I have some arrows in me at the moment. You like arrows, don't you?
I do. Come in here. I'll take them off your hands.
Okay, question. If you do that, I'd probably die again.
I'll cure you, darling. Don't worry.
We got you covered.
She called me darling.
She's the cutest.
I go in.
All right, you walk into your destroyed abode, managing to sidestep all the bear traps along the way. You've walked the path many times, and you know it, and I'm actually surprised none of you walked into any of them.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you knew where most of them were, but on the side, none of you guys wandered out far enough into the open to do that. But yeah, they're all inside. You can see your giant friend, of course, that you were talking to as you walked in, is twice the size he was earlier. And previously, where you had to hunch, you're now like having to almost belly crawl inside the house.
But what? There's no like separation between the first and the second
This
floor.
is true.
So if you stand in that space, you're fine.
I'm in my space.
Come over
I'm
here.
gonna prop our idiot up in the window so I can go in and like keep an eye on him even while I'm inside.
Okay.
We have a prisoner?
Yeah, I kept one.
Oh, but he's one of those creepy ghouls that probably
Yeah, it's
doesn't
kind of
speak.
and in the last minute or so, has not been able to break free, but is still trying.
He automatically fails until 24 hours has elapsed.
After the first failed save.
Okay,
then,
fails
yeah.
any further attempts to make the creature automatically fail until 24 hours have elapsed.
There you go. Never mind.
He ain't going nowhere.
It's the fucking bomb.
It's mean, man.
Okay.
Me and Pike can heal him as I take the arrows out.
Okay.
Glad that you've seen the point of me, eh?
Sprig, anything valuable in here that you want to save before we
Oh,
get you out of
my
here?
organs.
Gotcha.
Oh, I would like to save those.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right.
No, there's nothing.
No
It's all
keys
here.
to Ayun? You know where she is?
I might. I hope I do.
All right.
I hope that I can give you the answers you seek.
I hope so too. I cast Cure Wounds on this little.
I can cast Cure Wounds on you as well, and you heal.
Do I know her
18.
name yet?
No, you do not.
Cleric.
Pike.
Yes. Ethered. Or Spring. Whichever you like. You can call me Spring.
Okay. Once again, he identified... See, our volume seems low? Is it? It is. Good catch. He identified himself as Ethred, then said, or Sprig. So are those both made up? Or is Ethred real and he remembers it now? Or was he lying about not remembering? Or was he being metaphorical? I don't know what's going on.
You help me pray to Ayun. We need answers, and I think together we might find them.
I can certainly try. Do you have any items of her iconography? Anything?
Do I?
Yeah, actually, you just reach over and find one of the undamaged books.
You healed 19, by the way, from me.
Thank you. Use this, and you talk to her.
Wild. So a book is considered like an idol of Ayun. That has some interesting religious and philosophical ramifications that I find delightful, but are probably not that interesting. But I find them very interesting.
Or I can't. At least not yet.
I don't know if I can talk to her. I'm not, but I can help you pray. I don't know if it'll be enough.
Let's give it a go. There's a first time for everything.
Grog,
Yep.
can you help me clear some of the floor, please?
No problem.
Floorboards, interface.
I thought you were on fire. I'm really sorry.
Frickin' head.
Pike takes you over to the center of the room and tells you, kneel with me. Now take this book and close your eyes and apologize
For what?
for everything you said about Ayun.
All right. Well, look the other way. Find some things that are of value. Look for
Trinket sits down next to him and just stares.
I'm gonna pick up.
But I'll turn around.
Dude, fuck Blind Spot, man. I fucking hate Matt Pike, but I don't blame Matt for playing Matt Pike the way that Matt Pike is. Sounds like Matt Pat. I just, she's so radically different. And like, unfortunately feels the most hand of the DM because it literally is. Like, it's a really unfortunate scenario because every time Matt plays her, you see the decision-making process of the GM. Like, because Matt Pike is such a different character, all of the differences you, like, realize are Matt decisions. And every aspect of an NPC is a GM decision. But we like to, you know, suspend the disbelief and think of them as real people. But when Matt Pike is so different, it, like, makes it so, like, in your face that she's not a real person. And it's annoying, man. And I don't think they should do anything different. I don't think there's a way to make it less annoying, honestly. It's just annoying.
The real question is this post-2018?
Is this post-2018? Paige has the blind spot lore.
2018 or back.
2017.
They were still making good blind spot then.
Paige says they were still making good blind spot then. Look, I'm still going to say it. I have no emotional attachment to blind spot. Fuck blind spot. All my homies hate blind spot.
If it was in between, if it was season 4 or 5 of filming, fine. But also, those are some of the Bill Nye episodes.
I don't care.
1 through 3, you can't blame her.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. tough, man. It just isn't Ashley Pike. No, it isn't. And the fact that it isn't just like slaps you in the face. Which is tough, man. I don't know. It feels like one of the worst Matt Pike iterations we've seen in a while. It does. But I can't even like really bring it in me or find it within me to like super duper blame Matt. Like, it's not his character at the end of the day. Like, it's Ashley's. So it's, I don't know. So I hear like the verbiage of like apologize, and I'm like, damn, I can't imagine Pike saying that. The idea of Pike telling someone to apologize to the deity for like calling them a bitch, like, I can make it make rational sense, but I just can't imagine the words coming out of Ashley Johnson's mouth. And so so then it highlights that, like, it makes it feel like that's the right answer, you know? It's kind of highlighting the distinction that I was talking about with Sprig of like what guest players are good for. When you hear an NPC say something, until they are, you know, contradicted, you assume it to be true. You assume it to be coming from the GM. And so it's like when I hear Matt Pike say to apologize, something that I can't imagine PC Pike saying, the fact that it's from an NPC is like crystallized. You know, it's like, oh, that's the right answer? Huh. Like, it sounds like the right answer, not like an opinion that a cleric of a different god is giving. It definitely doesn't sound like an opinion that a player character is giving. It sounds like the answer. And that sucks, man. Like, that sucks. And I you know, I want to hold myself back from critiquing it too hard because it's a special circumstance. And I've said my piece on what I think they should have done with Pike as a character, like what I think they should have changed about the story conceits. I don't need to repeat that. They obviously didn't. And I know that when we've talked about that, people are like, oh yeah, they do something much closer to what you would want them to do in campaign 2. So like, I'm, you know, I've kind of given that away. It's, you know, they're going to do what they're going to do with Pike. They'll eventually do something that I like more. Whatever. You know, this is fucking 2017. I'm fighting ghosts from 9 years ago over here. But I don't know. It sucks. It just sucks. No two ways about it. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Yeah. I'm going to be honest, Pike telling him to apologize is a character decision Ashley would not make IMO, and it's the decision of a cleric instead of someone that's best buddies with their gods. Pike always felt like a warlock to me. I agree. Like I said, I cannot imagine the words coming out of Ashley Johnson's mouth. Like, I just can't. I mean, you know, I should be careful. I can literally imagine it. I want to be careful with my speech after the 2 or 3 streams ago discussion. I can literally imagine it, but it seems very unrealistic. Like it really doesn't seem like something that I don't think it's likely at all that she would say it. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I think back to how when Pike scolded Terry. Yeah. And again, it's like, I think they should have just handled Pike differently, but if they're not going to handle Pike differently, this is just what's going to happen. And that's why I think they should handle it differently. Is because this, I don't know. I don't like it. But I can imagine Pike demanding someone apologize, but only if they offended someone she likes personally, and not because in principle it's not cool to call people you are close with names. Yeah. Yep. That brings up a fun idea. Rebuild the CR characters as alternate classes that they also fit. Pike as Warlock is fascinating. Ooh. Like a Divine Soul Warlock especially. Oh, let me go down I mean, Vex as a scout rogue. Mwah. It didn't exist when Vex was getting built, obviously. Neither did Divine Soul Sorcerer, but just fits perfectly. Grog. Yeah, Percy as Artificer, no question. Vax. Vax is a fighter. I could see Vax as a certain build of fighter. And I think he would like all the feats and everything. I think there'd be some interesting ones. Grog and Scanlan are tough. There's cleric or warlocks or actually, Scanlan as a sorcerer, I can totally see. We could do that. Grog? Grog. Big, strong man. Strength build. I've made one of my favorite silly builds is Thug Rogue. And I could actually see Grog as a Thug Rogue. It's like there's some shenanigans you can pull with making your rogue largely strength based. I could see that for Grog. Fighter's always it's always a possibility. I could see a repressed ranger maybe. Definitely Marshall. Grog kind of just can't work as a caster, I think. But Scan as Illusion Wizard could also work. Illusion Wizard could definitely work for Scanlan. I could see it. Yeah. Even Enchantment Wizard. I think Scanlan is just a caster. And he has a lot of the horny bard tropes, but you can easily make wizards horny. Play Baldur's Gate 3. Gale's horny as hell. You can make it work. So Scanlan works. That's fine. Only problem with wizard is charisma. You can make the charisma 14, and wizard's not that mad of a class. It's just you'd have to lower dexterity or constitution probably lower than you would want to still get a 14 charisma. But you could lower an amount and get a 14 charisma, and I think 14 charisma covers Scanlan fine. Yeah. But I think Sorcerer is probably a better route because of the charisma casting aspect, and Wild Magic I think works for Scanlan pretty well. Yeah. Keyleth is very druid, but I think Nature Cleric is an option. Nature Cleric's an option for sure. What else on possibilities for Keyleth? I think Nature Cleric makes a lot could totally work. I could also see, it would be a big shift in her character, but I think you could do this without changing much of Keyleth's character. Is either Path of the Beast Barbarian, where they have the transformations because she's very into the wild shape, or Path of the Totem Warrior Barbarian. So having the nature relationship there, the bear totem, the whatever. I think because Keyleth has some anger. We kind of just saw it right there. I think there's some stuff that you could do with Barbarian Keyleth. I think it would change her personality, I think, less than it first appears. Beast Barbarian for Keyleth is amazing. I could see it. Totem Barbarian, yeah. So I think Nature Cleric's a safe pull. Totem Barbarian, Beast Barbarian, if you want to get a little spicy with it. Grog is clearly a wizard. He has said so himself. Dude, seeing Grog as like a war wizard that like only takes spells that don't actually scale off of intelligence. Something like shield, right? Like shield or magic missile or seeing Grog the wizard that still has the intelligence that he has and exclusively takes spells that don't care about intelligence. That's kind of a flex. He would cast Iron Hold Span. Yeah. Oh man, that'd be funny. But yeah, I mean, I think there's some options for the cast. There's some options. I always forget about Nature Cleric. I just restarted Taz and had completely rewritten Merle in my head as a druid instead of a Nature Cleric. Yeah. They're close fantasy-wise. Oh, yeah. Keyleth Barbarian Slaps. She does go a bit feral in combat, especially when wild shape. Yeah. Marisha admitted that Keyleth's Anger she'd consider a barb multi-class. There's something there. Especially if you took like Magic Initiate as a feat. You took like Druid Magic Initiate as one of her feats. I think you still get a little bit more casting in there. Yeah, there's also like Wild Magic Barbarian if you wanted to go more the caster route, but anyways.
I don't know if you're listening, Ione, and it's been many, many, many years since I've actually spoken to a god. I'd like to express my deepest sorrow. You see, this home didn't mean as much to me as life, and I think these people gave that to me. If you could give us, if you could give me anything, any little hint, it would be greatly appreciated, and I would be a warrior in your name forevermore. Please. Is that okay, Bear? I'm talking to...
Yeah, that's true.
Dude, fucking Darren DePaul would have made a great priest. That was spot on totally for like half of the sermons I've heard at church in my life. That was a great total quality to the it had that like pastoral sense that I feel like is kind of hard to get. It's like soft but a little bit deep and, you know, still projecting a little bit, but it feels personal. Mwah. Beautiful.
It's the side of your face.
No, I'm not crying. You're crying, Bear.
You sit there in silence, your eyes closed, kind of concentrating, holding the book before you, and it doesn't seem to be an answer. Just silence in the darkness.
Oof.
Nothing. Everyone still looking at him, still turned away?
No,
Yeah, Keyleth is definitely staring, but pretending not to stare. Like
I'm watching through the book.
Right.
I'm leaning against the wall and just staring at him now.
Okay.
He's using the pocket mirror. You
I-
gave him
nothing-
his crest
Aw.
all that time.
Is this something as you have your eyes closed, you hear this soft chuckle in the far corner of the room.
Really? Praying, are you?
Yes? Can you help?
Do I look like the kind of guy that would help?
Yes. I've known you for 19 years, and I think anybody's capable of anything. So, why don't you do something unexpected?
I think you're right. It's no longer your prison. It's not mine either.
That's true.
Flies out the window.
Oh, shit.
Craighammer has another performer, and not a very good one.
While you've been talking, by the way, in the silence, he's been kind of sad and kind of, you know, like taking in the kind of slight emotional cut that not getting a response and putting yourself in that limit means nothing. The rest of you notice his torso is glowing bright blue.
what? Is it really?
Yeah.
Your stomach is glowing.
Oh, you don't
Growing?
say that.
What? I didn't eat anything. How could my stomach be growing?
You're blue balling.
Well,
A what?
Look down.
Pike looks at you and takes your hands and kind of opens your arms and motions to your chest. And as the book in your hand, you kind of pull aside, you glance down, you can see there's this like soft bluish glow that's just emanating from your torso. It's strange.
You see, I didn't have to believe in Ioun. I found my religion. I'm bluish.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
No, it did.
Okay, fine.
That's good.
It did. He instantly falls over dead.
We'll restart in just a second. It'll be fine. The little imp is gone. So, the key
is me.
Is you? It is you.
Is in you or is you?
It is him. I've known it from the minute that I laid eyes upon him. It's him.
You knew that the
You
moment
knew that?
you-
They also kind of
No,
said
I
it.
had a hunch. I had a feeling deep down inside. I can't say it if I say it out loud, and then if it's not true, then I'm an asshole.
To be fair, we've only been here.
But also, to be fair, did Paylord not heavily imply that? Am I crazy? I thought there was I didn't even think that was really a theory. I thought there was heavy implication that this dude was the key. Didn't we know that? Yeah. Okay. You guys are on the same page as me. I was I don't know why everyone's so acting like this is a shock. Okay. I thought there was maybe a possibility that he wasn't the key and he just knew something about the key. But I went into this thinking, bro's the key.
12 minutes.
Yes.
So,
House gone, imp gone, Bernie, sad, pray, nothing happened. Now I'm blue.
Yeah.
That's a day for you, isn't it?
So, do you glow brighter the closer we get? What's the deal here?
I've never glowed before, child.
I think it's glown. But,
I've
it's
never glowed.
If you're the key, where's the lock? Where do we take you? Where do we
I'm so far. Tracking perfect.
Dude, speaking of certain, also we're going to ads in a minute. Speaking of certainty, yeah. How likely did I think it was that Sprig was the key? If we're really thinking about it, if I'm really analyzing, I don't know, 70%? 60% maybe? But I thought that was way more likely than someone else being the key. That was down at 30, 40% maybe confidence. And so, now it's, so I was confident. I was yeah, Sprig's the key. That makes more sense to me than the alternative, so that's what we're going with for now. And that is what I am portraying confidence in. Yeah. I went into this thinking, broski. Still the question of what do you do with this person now? Yeah. We are going to have to figure out what the fuck to do with him. If I'm in the session, I'm taking him to the Cobalt Reserve, probably. What's up? We're back. That was short, but we're making steady progress, and I want to keep going. Where's the lock equals where do you want to be inserted? I'm having to reevaluate everything if Sprig being the key was 60% for you. Not was 60. Well, was 60% before we saw the bluish thing. The blue thing emanating from his chest. And I mean the moments right before that. I truly cannot cast my mind back and tell you what it was last session or stream, or two sessions or streams ago, or 3 sessions or streams ago. I can't tell you what the percentage it was when we met Sprig or when we found out about, Sprig existing or when we were talking about Paylor or whatever. I have no idea how much I thought it was then. What I can tell you is it has been the highest confidence thing for a while. And there was a debate last session, I believe. Last session, I was internally debating on him being the key versus one of his descendants being the key. And I would say that was around, like, I'm having to guess, I don't know exactly what the percentages were, but I thought that, like, one of his descendants being the key was, like, an interesting possibility, probably, like, 10 to 20% below Sprig still being the key. So when we were talking about, like, like JB being the key, I still thought that Sprig was probably the key, but I thought that one of his descendants being the key was a really interesting route to go down. And a lot of times when I go down a theory, when I start going down the theory, I'm a lot less confident in the theory than when I end. Or sometimes vice versa. I'm more confident when I start than when I end. Like, doing the theorizing is part of me thinking about it. So by the end of it, I think I was probably more split on whether or not it was Sprig or one of Sprig's descendants that was the key. But I think I was still just the most confident that Sprig was the key. Yeah. And then when he was praying to Ioun, yeah, probably like 60 to 75% that he was the key. Yeah. And now I'm like 90% that he's the key. Now that his fucking chest is glowing blue. Yeah. Is there anything you are 90+% about? 75+% about? Anything I'm 90+% about right now? I think Vecna's the final, the BBG. I think Vecna's probably the final boss. I would say I'm over 90% on that one. What are some of my other theories? Ooh, man, the betrayer gods being the archfey? That's definitely not over 90%. There's so many other things that could be true beyond that. I wouldn't say any of my cosmology theories, like any of my calamity cosmology theories, those are all max 70%. Maximum 70%. Because there's so many other, like, I just don't have enough information. I don't think there's anything that I don't know for a fact. I don't think there's anything I'm over 90% confident about. Any theory that I have, honestly, the fact that Sprig is the key, still technically a theory. That's probably the theory I'm the most confident about. But yeah, I literally can't think of a theory that I'm over 90% confident about. Over 75% confident? I think I am over 75% confident that the Raven Queen at some point in the past, probably during the Calamity, knew more about Vecna than she knows right now. I think she had an increased knowledge of Vecna, and this has been slightly confirmed, but I think that Vecna was not just a mortal. They were a much larger player, whether they were the Death God or the leader of, I've theorized that he was the leader of the Death Ashari. I think he had a very prominent position of some sort. towards the end of the Age of Arcanum / Calamity. I'd say I'm like I'm 70 plus on that. I'm somewhere between 70 and 90 on that, but I wouldn't even say I'm 90% sure on that. I think Vecna could just be a random mortal that just like came after the Calamity or came before the Calamity. He might be like from the Opash days and like has nothing to do with the Calamity. I think I leave plenty of room open for that being possible. But I just take the thing I'm the most confident in and just like assume that is the reality, you know? Yeah. He is not even slightly key-shaped. You are limited in what keys can look like, my friend. Bro has never seen fucking... I'm shit. I was going to say Wipeout, but I'm thinking of a different show. The fucking Nickelodeon show where the fucking kids had to fucking form shapes and shit to get through the wall. What do you say to that? What do you think of that show that I barely even remember and am possibly misremembering? That also might have been a Japanese game show, not a American one. I don't know. But it's tingling around in my brain somewhere. I don't like how I phrased that. Moving on. Chad, is it now time to tell me clocked Cuba a long time ago? Uh-huh. Yeah. How confident are you that Sam sticks with Scanlan through the rest of this campaign? 30%? I have no idea. 20%? Low. Like I do think Sam sticking with Scanlan throughout this campaign, for the rest of the campaign, is the most likely thing. But I would say that I am acting as though that is what is going to happen. But I'm putting it at like a 25% confident. I have no fucking clue. No fucking clue. Not a key? You're not a key.
Strange as English. Well, look, I have been gone for many, many years, so English may have changed. To be fair, I don't know. This is all new to me. I would have thought it would be in one of those tomes.
I'm going to pick up the book that he was holding when he was praying. I'm going to just try and read it.
Okay. You glance through it. The book is a simple book talking about the construction of barricades, and it looks like it was less with the contents of the book and more just the image of the book itself.
I'm going to hand him the book again and just sort of see if maybe there's focus to be found. Maybe this is...
Okay.
Time to think upon that.
Oh!
Make a perception check.
Dude, I forgot to say what the fuck I thought that they were going to do. Or if I was them, what I would do. I don't know. I honestly don't know what the fuck they're going to do. But if I was them, I'm going straight to Vasselheim. Because we've talked about... See, our volume is still low? I don't think so. I think they're just talking quiet. If we're like... So I've said in these past streams, like, if they're being scryed upon, they need to get anti-scrying technology by the next long rest, right? There is another possibility. I described them like rats, running around, and they got to figure out how to hide. The alternative is to just go somewhere that Vecna can't reach. So the alternative to hiding is to, I don't know, run into a cage or something where the human can't reach you and so they can't step on you, right? Going to Vasselheim, I think, seems like the most likely thing to succeed there. They are basically the only city, only city asterisk that wasn't really worried about the Chroma Conclave. They're the city that has, according to them, survived all of the cataclysms, all of the wars, whatever. Ank'Harel does have Devosa, which is not a factor to be ignored. But what Whitestone, I read the chat. What Ank'Harel doesn't have, and what Whitestone doesn't have, I will also say, is the Cobalt Reserve. if I'm them and I'm thinking about all of my safety options, there's a short list that Vasselheim is on, and none of the other locations on that short list have a repository of people that know about Ioun and might know what to do with a key of Ioun, right? Like the best they could hope for is to maybe ask Braum Goldenhand to meet them in one of these other places, to invite him to Whitestone or to, and you don't want to put Whitestone at risk. I mean, at least I'll say. You would have to get Gilmore there, and you'd have to hope that Vecna doesn't scry on you in the meantime before you can get the the stealth bubble set up. So, like, you'd have to go there or tell Gilmore beforehand, I guess, and just wait where you are, and then wait to go back to Whitestone until he goes there first and sets up the bubble. Any way you slice it, to me, Vasselheim is the best place for them to go right now. It's got Ioun knowledge and it's got safety. And like it is apparently at least, or ostensibly, the most like divinely suffused area in the material plane. Or at least the most like prime deity suffused place in the material plane. So if Vecna's going to want to be crashing around everywhere and making a bunch of noise, I think Vasselheim's the last place he would want to do it. So Vasselheim it would have my vote if I was in this. Now, people might be able to convince me of some alternative plans. But if I'm any one of these characters, my vote is for Vasselheim. I wonder if the Whitestone siphon is even still working. A huge question mark. Especially since we saw the tethers in the Shadowfell disengage. Totally unclear to me if the siphons are still active or not. Yeah. The Vecna cultists can turn the anti-magic ball off. We think, yeah, they probably can. So Whitestone, to me, feels out. Maybe Ank'Harel. Maybe. Because of Devosa and the Hand of Ord. Big maybe. Vasselheim's my vote.
Oh, Lord. Let's call that that's a 28?
Yeah. When you took the book from him and handed him another book, there was a very faint vibration to his body as you pulled it from him and gave it back to him. Which you haven't noticed, but there's just like a physical vibration to him.
If it's with your permission, I'm going to take his hands.
Okay, you feel them and you feel like this very faint vibration to his body.
Percy?
Yes.
Just continue holding his hands. I pull out the tome of quick movement. Hold while I find the paper. Hold it.
What if he's like a tuning fork?
Shh. God,
Very rude.
Where is it? I have a lot of things.
Divining. Oh yes, a divining rod. A rod to the divine.
Yes.
Perhaps I am a divining rod.
That's what I mean.
Well said, child.
Can we?
I pull out the fork that we got to get to Elysium. Is it similar?
When you pull out the fork and
fucking tome.
you hold it, there's when you recall that whenever you cast the spell plane shift, there was a faint vibration to the specific fork.
Did I theorize about this? I frankly can't remember. But I do think when we were talking about the MacGuffins, back in the Paylor episode, back when we were on the Fields of Elysium, I talked about like a human potentially acting, like what it would mean to be like a human key. I can't remember if I theorized that they would work as like a plane shift tuning fork. That doesn't sound exactly right, but I was in that vein. It's cool. I like it a lot. I don't think I got it. But I do. I like that quite a bit. And the vibration is a good clue. I like that. Yeah. Nothing complicated to say. And it dodges it kind of dodges the need to deal with Vecna's resources immediately, at least. So now, because scrying is only, on the same plane, it dodges the need for them to address the scrying. Which, fuck it at that point. Okay, I changed my critique earlier, to be more critical. Fucking Matt. If you're going to introduce a soft magic mechanic, fucking stick with it. Don't just randomly dissuade them. Don't, if Sprig is already the tuning fork, and you're already going to lead them in that direction with Matt Pike telling him to apologize and setting this up, I don't know. It's hard to predict how quickly the players are going to figure it out. So maybe Matt was worried that they would spend another day with him just vibrating here in the material plane. I don't know. I kind of feel like he could have stuck to his guns a little bit more on that one. But what are you going to do? The only thing I remember is you thinking Ayun was within the plane they hold Drizden in. Well, let's see if she is.
He's the tuning.
No. What?
You
No.
can't
This
plane
is
shift
good.
us.
No, it is
Shift
good.
using him.
It's good. It's just. Oh, Sprig.
What's wrong?
No, it's fine. It's good. I'm just.
What?
I don't know. Everything in my life seems to have this impermanence factor about it. So I hope he's not something that can be used and discarded.
What?
Been used in 37 years.
Sprig.
It's all right.
Is the tuning fork used up by the spell? I'm not. What's happening? Do I not know how plane shift works? Plane shift 2014. No, it's not. Huh. I think Keyleth is just dooming. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Not a choice I super connect with at the moment. Yeah, I don't know. It seems, yeah. Kiki is catastrophizing. Yeah, I guess. I've never been a catastrophizing type. So I don't really. Yeah, it seems out of place. It feels a little out of nowhere to me, but maybe it feels less so to other people. I don't know.
At least I wasn't discarded all that time.
I'm sure it's fine. I just.
Look at me. Just remember, whatever happened, just remember me. That's all that's important.
That's good advice.
That's all that we have. My friends are gone and I don't even remember their names. I don't remember Theta Pax or Zephyr or the guy with the nose. He was my favorite.
So okay. So he is almost certainly Ethred. He's okay. Sprig. So he's not lying. He's not being metaphorical. He's just not all there, which we knew. So Sprig said he doesn't remember his friends' names, then almost immediately seems to have said them. It could be that he's just not all there, or it could theoretically be that these are placeholder names, but I tend to believe that he's just not all there. Okay. So if that is the case, Sprig equals Ethred Broken Branch. Oh, whoops. Ethrid Broken Branch. His companions equal Theta Pax, Zephyr, and the guy with the nose. Yeah. I think talking to people for the first time in 35 years and having some action brought memories back. Oh, I think you're right, but he doesn't even seem to recognize that he is remembering them. So I think he does just know the names, but he doesn't believe that he knows them. He's like, he has, not to armchair psychologize too much, but he seems to kind of have largely disassociated. So I think he still literally remembers them, but he has lost so much of a sense of self that he doesn't think of himself as him. So he does not remember them, even though he does. I'm not a psychologist, especially not a fantasy psychologist. But I think it's more about his broad mental state than anything else. And so all that is to say, regardless of any of that, I think these are real names. I think Thetapax and Zephyr are probably real. Yeah. Then immediately saying which was his favorite too, so can't even say he only remembers their names and nothing else. Yeah. They're pretty obscure names to be off-the-cuff placeholders. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's why I lean towards, this is how I do. I try to organize all the possibilities and then pick the one I think is most likely. It's possible that they're placeholder names, but the specificity of them either lends itself to a sort of whimsicalness that even though he can't remember them, he chooses to give them a hyper-specific names so that he can still call them something that sounds like a name when he thinks of them. Or I think more likely he's just a little bit mixed up. He put them deep into his mind palace, probably, and threw away the key. Yeah. So I think those are probably real, and he's just kind of not entirely aware of even himself and like what he's saying. Yeah.
He was my favorite. Dusty in here, isn't it?
And then he even again, not to totally psychologize this, but I think there's a little bit of realization of what he says and his mind shutting it down. Of hearing the names, it realizing what the names are and going, fuck that, What the hell was that? And just going blank. And just be Dusty in here. He almost has it almost looks like he's stunned in an anime and he has the birds or whatever. He's like, ooh, Dusty in here, isn't it? Yeah. Emotional pain? Nope, no thanks. Yeah, I think his brain is just avoiding that entire side of things. Those names just slipped out when he wasn't paying attention.
Oh, Sprig. I remember. See? It's all up here. So whatever happens, keep me there. All right?
I guess I have to start getting used to losing things.
Yes. Or you can be hidden away in a prison for 37 years. And that's not life, child. That's hiding. Don't hide.
I've already built my own prison.
Break free.
They don't know I'm already there.
You can break out. You can. It's hard, but you can do it. Just take the first step, and then you take another one, and then you take another one.
And I grab his hand, and with that, I cast plane shift to wherever he is leading to go.
All right, the rest of you gathered hands for this?
I guess so.
All right.
Is there enough of us? Drink it in the necklace, quick.
Drink it into the necklace.
Wait. My invisible frog companion. Is he real?
Yes.
There is a sudden shuddering of power energy around you as you feel the vibration out of Sprig's hand emanate throughout the entire loop you guys have created throughout your grasp. The familiar bright light flashes before you, and you feel your body being pulled through at incredible speeds through darkness. There, the familiar racing of the Divine Gate as you pass through one of its many portholes.
So the Divine Gate. So Ioun is existing outside of the Divine Gate. I wasn't sure if she would be.
Then, adrift.
I wasn't totally sure.
By now, the times you've passed through the gate, you've passed through a handful of times since now. Adrift. Still holding hands, but the circles begin to turn to an oval. You can all glance around and see each other, and it's, did you miss your destination? Did you overshoot? What's next? Another white flash. And suddenly you're at a destination. You glance around and you're standing within a small chamber. It resembles like a decadent bathhouse, but with no water nor occupants. It's empty. There are marble pillars stretching to a domed ceiling about 60 feet above you, while silk-draped cloths drift and hang at odd angles throughout the ceiling. Glowing points of magical light, latched within iron cages, dangle at the edges of these pillars, about 15 feet up, that give the faint glow to an otherwise darkened room. There are walls on each side of this chamber, about 30 or 40 feet from you, and one arched hallway across from you that leads to the only other chamber you've seen.
Okay. All right, give me all this. And there's... So the transport was a little weird. Whoa. The transcripts are also a little weird. Okay. So the transport was a little weird. It's a bathhouse. The marble pillars turn. Yeah. So trade clouds drift and hanging all in, going points of magical light. Yeah. Okay.
Each side of this chamber.
Oh wait, I'm also gonna slow down the. Oh wait, I already did. Oh wait, I shouldn't go into this. I should keep out. I'm gonna keep out here because we might need more transcripts. Show transcript.
About 30 or 40 feet from you, and one arched hallway across from you that leads to the only other chamber you've seen.
I immediately turned and looked to see if Sprig is still holding my hand.
Sprig is still holding your hand.
See, all that fucking shit was for nothing. He's still alive.
Are you the same Sprig as before?
Hope so. Let's ask my invisible frog companion. Well, I guess we'd better go find what we are looking for.
Okay. Glad you're with us, Sprig.
It's good to be alive.
Yes, it is.
Remember that.
Okay. I will.
Ooh. Except for her boyfriend's
As you guys
about to
walk
not
forward
be.
towards the singular hallway, you go through the domed arch, and the hallway extends on, featureless, smooth gray marble, like a just solid punch that seemed to have carved out whatever this material was. It extends for 100 feet, 150 feet. And even though there's very, very faint light, and many of you can see through dark vision, there is like a darkness about 60 feet from you that seems to consume what you can see. You can only see so far beyond that radius, and it's hard, you're not quite sure where that oppressive kind of shadow is coming from. The air is chilled, but not uncomfortably so. You can hear the distant sound of pinched winds winding through small spaces, a familiar sound from the many times you've spent under. The air is chilled, but not uncomfortably so.
Sorry.
You can hear the distant sound of pinched winds winding through small spaces, a familiar sound from the many times you've spent underground, through caverns that had some openings that allowed air to streak through to the surface.
Pandemonium? I mean, I guess if you wanted to hide, Pandemonium's a decent place to do so. It'd be tough to keep, like, anything of permanence in limbo, I assume. I'm trying to think of what, like, streaking winds could be. And, like, this could also be one of the lawful planes. This could be like, what's like 8 o'clock on the Great Wheel? Like Acheron or something? guess this could be Acheron. Or even the Abyss, maybe. Huh. If it's not just like a pocket dimension.
A few steps more, and suddenly the hallway opens into a second chamber. Into a library, if you could even call it that. Bookshelves that stretch upward for seemingly hundreds of feet.
That is exactly what I would call that, yeah.
Before flickering lights fell from your vision, you do not see where they stop. These columns of just tomes and cases and scrolls and parchment stackings and tablets and any form of recorded information seem to just be infinite in front of you to two sides of this row and upward. And they seem to stretch in almost every direction, the walls to the side of you. You see columns ahead of you, and they tend to wind and curl like a labyrinth made of bookcases to no end. It's very Escher-esque in how the further up you look, they tend to curve and shift and bend around each other. Your eyes, now attuned to the realms beyond mortality, you catch glimpses of shifting wind gathering books and turning pages. Spirits of the library, though sparse as they may be from this entry point, organizing, reading and learning from whatever words are within. You begin to almost get vertigo just trying to contemplate the strange and overwhelming construction of such a wondrous place. An endless sea of stories, spectral custodians keeping the tales of each other and the history of Exandria past, present, and binding the pages to tell what will eventually be the present, currently the future.
I've dreamed this place. Inside Matt's brain.
This is immortality.
This is our future.
This is everything. I'm, I may never leave. I glide over to Vex and hold her close. This is stunning. My God, I think they may have actually forgotten all the things I said yesterday. Oh yeah, I may have.
Feels pretty good, doesn't it?
I think they've completely forgotten. I'm sorry. May have panicked.
I give him a kiss.
I'll be right back. I'm going to run towards one of the stacks. Like a child.
Okay. Begin to take the first.
I'm doing a title run. I want to figure out the organizational system before I touch a book.
There are no words on any of the spines.
Pick one.
Okay, you pick it.
Just pictures.
Right. Pick it up. I look around to see if anybody has a problem. And I turn to the title page.
It's ironic you do this because the book is in Celestial.
I read Celestial.
You do. It's ironic that you did that. Glancing through, it appears to be describing a birth, describing a tunnel and a light and a cry.
I skip to the end, the last page.
It seems to be an older man surrounded by his family in a small, looks to be the
I've got it. I put it down.
shop.
I pick up another one.
You glance through this book and
first page
begins very similarly to the last one.
Last page.
Oh, dude. Okay. I have a theory of what's going on here, but it is very informed by stuff that I am preparing for my own campaign. So I don't even know how fair it is to use. But I have a theory of what might be going on here. And I'm not even going to say how I know. I'm gonna keep it I'm gonna keep it vague. Oh man. I don't have a theory, but what's up, a Rose TW? I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you're through to 30. That sounds like, I think that's into the Briarwood arc. That seems like when it starts really picking up, at least from my perspective. Hell yeah. I'm glad. Glad you're enjoying it. Okay. I have to look something up. It's not anything related to CR as far as I am aware of currently. But I'm going to guess. I didn't even catch it, man. Oh, I could have caught this when I was prepping for my campaign, and I didn't. I'm going to theorize that the previous god of death, whose name has been erased from history, was known as Crenepsis and would nowadays be known as Null. I think this is the god that Ioun, or sorry, not that Ioun, that the Raven Queen's mortal persona, Sad Queen, followed and worshipped. And I think that the place that we are in right now is a retrofitted mausoleum of Crenepsis. I think this is the Iounified mausoleum of Crenepsis. And all of these books are all of the lives of everyone that ever has lived or ever will live. So you don't theorize by naming stuff? I'm not fabricating this name. This is an existing D&D pantheon god. Where'd you get those names from? Forgotten Realms Wikipedia. Well, actually, if we want to be more specific, my session notes. The Mausoleum of Crenepsis, at certain points in certain editions, sometimes is its own pocket plane, sometimes it exists partially in the Hells, sometimes it exists partially in the Outlands, and I happened to be running a session in the Outlands. And Null, or Crenepsis, whichever, is also, he's not only the dragon god of death, but he is also the dragon god of fate. Much like the Raven Queen is the god of fate. And if she was, and Null and Crenepsis are not just the god of death, but also undeath and time and fate. And I can absolutely see if you're the prime gods and you're splitting shit up and you don't want to give Raven Queen the overall, like, if you don't want to give her the overall portfolio of Crenepsis, you can literally, like, split. Like, Null and Crenepsis already get split. It's like the two aspects. But you could split some of his aspects and give them over to Ioun, and you could split some of them and give them over to Raven Queen. I'm gonna make a bit of a poll here. This god you're talking about, is it spelled Null? It's either like that, Null, or Crenepsis, which is, a much more proper noun name. Yes, correct. It was a dragon god, like Bahamut or Tiamat, to my understanding at least. I don't know the full history. But splitting up these aspects between the two of them could mean, because like they said that like Percy's historical accounts say that they only gave the Raven Queen authority over the transition of death, and we know that the Raven Queen abhors undeath, which was with Null and Crenepsis, death and undeath, both part of the package. And then Crenepsis was more fate and time oriented, but they're the same being. So it's all wrapped into one. I could see them having split Null and Crenepsis, not along the lines that you would normally think of death and undeath over here, fate and time over here, but you split it like horizontally instead of hot dog. Wait, I gotta bring up a whiteboard. Wait a second. If you have this dual-natured god that has like fate and time on the Crenepsis side, and then you have Null up here with death and undeath, then if you're splitting him up in a way that you want him to survive the least, you can split him like this. And so then you give this stuff to the Raven Queen. And you give this stuff to Ioun. Because you trust that Ioun is not going to do anything crazy with the undeath. You know that like someone needs to have undeath. You can't just like leave that like portfolio thing just floating out in the nether, in the nowhere. You have to give it to someone, so you give it to Ioun. Because maybe, I don't know, maybe she's the most trustworthy. I mean, she created the trammels. You certainly trust that she wants to keep this under wraps. And in fact, this might just be Thorisdon. This undeath piece of Crenepsis might be Thorisdon. And it might be like, it has to get out. So Ioun tries to contain it. It's got too much fucking energy. I don't know. Or she isn't like... There might be an... Okay. So I don't want to go too much into Elder Scrolls lore, but there's a concept in the Elder Scrolls lore that I believe has its roots in other real-world historical religions, although I'm not actually entirely sure. But one of the ways that you achieve godhood in Godhood, Kim, one of the walking ways, for those who know, is what is called mantling. And mantling, the best way I've ever heard it described is that you walk like someone until they walk like you. And you essentially trick the universe into thinking that you are that other person. And then you get all of the things that they had. So if you were to mantle a god, you would be essentially acting as them so well that the universe can't tell the difference between you and the god, and you therefore become the god. Okay. I don't think that's exactly what's happening here by any means, but I think there could be an aspect of like the people that the personas that hold these powers, these like portfolio pieces, need to be cosmic fake it till you make it. Yes, pretty much. Yes. The people that like hold these portfolio pieces might need to have like some amount of predisposition to it. So it could be that time just made sense for Ioun. The goddess of knowledge, time, I can see it. fate and death might have made sense for the ascended Raven Queen because she was a follower of Crenepsis, right? She was a follower of the deity of these things. And undeath also would have fit for her, but they all say, no, she can't have that much. We have it as established lore that the gods limited what they gave to the Raven Queen. When she ascended, they did not give her the full kit and caboodle. This could be the thing. Maybe undeath went to Ioun, but it didn't she couldn't contain it because she wasn't predisposed enough to it. So it formed into its own being as Theorizing. And it wounded Ioun as she attempted to contain it. She attempted to hold it inside of herself, and it broke loose. Alternatively, there's a slight alternative. We know that the Raven Queen abhors undeath. Within this, the theory I've currently postulated, or speculated, I don't know. I would think that maybe happened after a while of being the Raven Queen and of being the god. But it could be that, she abhorred undeath before. Maybe that was a part of Crenepsis that she did not fuck with. She did not like death. She liked the death part and the fate and the time, but she didn't fuck with the undeath part. And she might have legitimately believed Crenepsis and Null to be a tyrannical deity. And so when she elevates, she can't hold undeath. It would have done the same thing to her that it did to Ioun. The gods might have given it to the most trustworthy god that they could think of to try and contain it. But it ultimately failed, wounding Ioun. Ioun designs the trammels and locks it away within Crenepsis' own previous realm, the Mausoleum. And the Mausoleum of Crenepsis normally, at least again to my understanding, has hourglasses that tell the time, the fated end point of all people that ever will live or ever have lived. And when your hourglass runs out, you die. And I could see Ioun, when she takes over the aspect of time, all of these hourglasses transform into novels of those people's lives. She is not only the god of time, she's also the god of knowledge, and those things combine in a way they never did with Crenepsis. This is obviously using a ton of exterior knowledge that I just so happen to have. But I do just so happen to have all of this exterior knowledge, and I can't ignore it. Now, if all of that is not, the case, which it's very possible it's not, revert to my previous theory. But right now, it would make a lot of sense. Even within the interpretation, you could, even if I'm Matt, I don't actually know as a person why Crenepsis and Null are dual-natured, but Tiamat and Bahamut are not. I don't know why Bahamut doesn't have a dual nature, but Null and Crenepsis does. I didn't do that deep of delving for what I was going to put into my session. So the naming just works so well for what we have here in Exandria of the previous death god, which Crenepsis is the god of death, even though it's this dual aspect. Their name was wiped from the history books. What does it look like after your name has been wiped? All that's left is Null. That's what like really like boom like tipped me onto this was when I saw all the books of the entire lives, and this is very like this entire place is very mausoleum coded, at least to me. I'm thinking about the mausoleum of Cronepsis, and then I'm like, holy shit, one of Cronepsis's names is Null. And I know that Matt likes to bring forward that like previous stuff, and I also know that the mausoleum throughout its like history within D&D Forgotten Realms canon has existed in multiple places, which I mean isn't fucking hard. They've changed their cosmology several times across the course of D&D. Oh man. I'm going to leave it there. We're going to see. I'm so stoked to potentially be right. I rarely have exterior knowledge that is actually useful. I so rarely have contextual knowledge that might actually help me with the theory. And, you know, I largely like it that way. But this is such a crazy random pull because I don't know the majority of the D&D pantheon, like the majority of the Forgotten Gods or the Forgotten Realms gods. I don't know the majority of their names. One of the only ones I know is Nolan Cronepsis. Oh man, that rules. Okay. To be fair, this is exterior knowledge that a critter of the time might have had too. Oh yeah, like if I was a critter still running my campaign at the time, I would have this knowledge. Now, I generally try to imagine myself as a player at the table, but if I was a player at the table, being a DM separately for a separate table, again, I would still have this knowledge, although the player characters wouldn't have this knowledge. So as a player, I might be able to make this theory, but I would not transfer it, or I would try not to at least transfer it down into my character. Oh man. Hell yeah. I don't know. We'll see. That's fun though. The power arguing the CR cast have been a great distraction therapy, getting through breaking one powered wheelchair and getting used to a new one. Wouldn't still be mentally healthy without CR? That's awesome. You know, I don't think that, like, I don't know. I always go back and forth on, like, the value of streams or entertainment. But I know, you know, even personally and from hearing from other people, it's really, really nice to have something to take your mind off of stuff. So I'm glad I could be that. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. Let's see. That's all I got. But I think that actually locks some stuff into place. And especially if we've only given Raven Queen the death piece of the portfolio without the undeath, that could have gotten kind of molded into this idea of the transition as time has gone on. Because she seems like the death god. Like, if we're being, like, you know, a little bit less, you know, strict, it seems like she's the god of death. But she abhors undeath so much that maybe that sort of distinction as the transitionary force, as the more psychopomp type figure, has taken root within popular theology, even if it's maybe not exactly what actually happened.
This one actually ends with what appears to be a horseback riding accident.
Yeah.
115 pages in.
115 pages in, you get to a page that seems to talk about the sorrow of a lost romance and trying to deal coping at a young adult age.
I put it back and I turned.
What is it?
The Native people.
Wait, what? It's skin
people.
books?
It's
worst way to phrase it.
And I'm gonna find an interesting, like the most interesting spine, and it's just I'm gonna turn to the first birth, death.
I can't read that. Yeah.
Birth, death, sex, birth, death, some disappointment. I am just gone down the. I'm running back and forth, finding whatever interesting spine I can. Okay. Are they all in Celestial?
They are currently, all the ones you picked up are in Celestial.
Oh my god, okay, this is great. All right. I'm prevention probably going to pass out from mild hyperventilation and have to sit down.
We should maybe find Ioun, don't you think?
If we must, yes. Just as an experiment, I'm going to think about Vesper and try and touch a book. I don't expect this to work, but I'm going to close my eyes and think about and pick it up and flip through it.
Make a religion check.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
Oh.
You grab a tome and pull it forth, and as you read the story, it's an unfamiliar one.
There's a system. I will discover the system. I'm going to keep running around like a kid.
What the rest of you guys doing while Percival's running like a
Not
kid?
interested in the fucking books.
Distracted by Percy, Keith just scans. Does anything in Primordial stick out?
Make a perception check.
Oh, that's good. That's good. 29.
Glancing about, I mean, none of the spines have anything written on them, so you have to kind of start pulling a few books out and opening them, and they're...
I'll kind of like hold my hand over and pull.
Okay.
I feel froggy.
Open it up. It's not language you don't understand.
Yeah, put it back and get frustrated.
I've stopped. I'm good.
Watched her the whole time and quietly just walk up behind and give her a hug from behind and don't say anything.
Are there any doors leading forward or out?
It's a labyrinth of bookshelves. So there's a path forward between like 2 or 3 ahead of you, but then it comes to an end where it splits off in 2 directions. And like I said, they travel up infinitely, so you're not quite sure which way leads where.
Is Sprig still glowing?
Sprig is actually, there's a very, very faint blue glow in him that never really faded since your arrival.
I wonder if we could follow the glow. Warmer? Warmer?
Yeah.
Hey, Sprig, stand over there.
All right. I run to where she's pointing.
Okay.
Okay. Something that I can see the players doing here, and I don't blame them, is they are trying to find any indication about which way they should go. Right? Matt's just saying, it splits off and they just, go up into the Escher-esque crazy ceiling. There's not a lot of direction that is being given here to them. Now that might be the point. Matt might just want them to wander around for a second. That's possible. But giving them, we saw right before this, he started them in a separate room, gave them one direction to go, and they went in that direction. But now they kind of have, multiple, they have as it has been described, they have a sort of infinite number of options. They can kind of go any which way, but none of those options have any choice behind them. So they can just say, I go off in a random direction for a while. If they find Ioun from that will feel strange. So they're looking for something to give them an orientation, right? That they can make a heading off of, essentially. Going to Sprig is interesting, and that might be what Matt wants. Matt might, it might be that he's looking for them to engage with a particular mechanic, or specifically Sprig, to get that orientation. But as of right now, I don't blame them for not just walking in a random direction, and I hope that's not what Matt is wanting them to do.
Is there any change in the glow?
No noticeable change. No.
Sprig, stand over there.
I just was shot with a bunch of arrows, so give me a second. I run over there, stop halfway, and go, ow, and then I continue again there. Any change in the glow?
Make a perception check.
Okay.
Sprig thing.
Oh, it's a 1.
Oh, we're watching him
No
too.
discernible difference.
You're inspired if you want to use.
Oh,
It's a natural one. It's an
It's a natural
auto
one.
fail.
Well,
I'm not sure.
Is there a card catalog? The spirits? I'm gonna maybe
Is there a central
interrupt us.
area info desk?
You can make an investigation check to begin to wander around and try and find your way.
Oh, that's a natural 20.
So,
Yeah.
Scanlan seems to walk with purpose into one of the random rows.
I'm clutching my Ioun stone.
Okay.
Hey.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else doing anything?
He seems to have purpose. I'm giddily following behind with.
Yeah, it's what else would they do? It's tough because this is what if you're just going with what like the books give you, this is about as much as an exploration challenge is you are lost, you don't know which way to go, make an investigation check, and you go in the right direction. I don't know. Not a huge fan of that. As you know, any other stream of mine might have made clear. Even in a social situation, you know, the player has to like choose words that then get transformed into a persuasion check. So they still have some amount of agency and action and choice within that. But this is just like we're taking it purely into check land, right? There's no real decision making on the player side of things. It's just, did checks work or not? You know, there's nothing that can be done otherwise. They just have to try and roll until they succeed on something. It's not even how the social pillar works. And like the social pillar is similarly undeveloped compared to the exploration, but even the social pillar has an amount of control and agency within its interactions. You do a persuasion check after saying something attempting to persuade someone. And I guess you could say in this, he did an investigation check after stating that he wanted to try and find the way forward. But he wasn't even taking the action, right? It would be sort of like doing the social pillar, but instead of like saying the words that you're conveying to the other person, that you just say, I want to try and persuade them to believe us. And then you just rolled a persuasion check, and then it worked or it didn't. You know, that's the equivalent of what we've got going on here. And there might be some situations where that is desirable, but I don't think it should probably be the majority, at least. At least I don't find it interesting at all. It's like wanting them to do what they want, but when there's only really one objective here, they want to go to that. Right. Yeah. It's a silent and echoey library. They could just call out for Ayunlol, maybe then get a few shushes from the spirits. Maybe, you know, would that work? I don't know. Like my point is here is not that they can't try stuff, but that there is no direction of any kind, right? They are just going to have to just repeat over and over until a check works out, because there's nothing indicating them in any particular direction. Which is tough. It's not tough, actually. Sorry. It's on Matt. Matt could have made there be more indications. This is sort of a extension of the branching paths problem, where, you know, if you have like one path and then it branches into two paths and there's no difference between the two paths, that's bad. You want there to be a difference between the two paths. You don't want the players to be just choosing randomly, because that's actually kind of hard for them. They are going to look for something to guide their decision. It's kind of uncomfortable to just choose totally randomly. We have this like internal feel that there must be a difference between the two of them, because we know there is, right? They lead to different places. So we want there to be like a difference that indicates something about the place that they lead to. It's an extension of that problem, but for an entire locale almost, right? This library has nothing pulling them in any particular direction. Yeah.
Okay. Percy's following Scanlan.
Walk with Percy. Oh, and Trinket's out.
Okay, Trinket. Looks confused and like starts looking up and
I know, dear.
falls onto his back.
Are Vex and Percy walking with me?
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
I just whip out my flute and I just start going.
Oh, he may have heard.
You heard?
I thought you were going to die. I may have panicked.
Wait.
We were asked to plead for your life, and I may have panicked.
Who did you tell? First of all, who did you tell?
Some deity.
Look at your shirt.
Tell her.
I panicked. I panicked. There was a giant glowing sun, and I may have panicked. I didn't tell them. Well, I was a bit vague, but I was
A
not.
bit vague?
I
Scanlan, what did he say?
Well,
Oh no!
you know, first comes love,
Don't be.
then comes marriage.
I may have hinted that we might have eloped. May have hinted.
Wait, you're married?
I may have hinted.
Wait, no, you said you were betrothed to be married.
Betrothed.
Wait,
I
you're
didn't say
married?
to be married.
Oh wow, you just spilled it.
Silence. Go to silence.
All of a sudden,
You're married!
you try and yell, and it's making no sound. It is just absolute quiet. What are the rest of you guys doing?
I run in the corner to see if I go again.
Keelan and Vax heard the do, so we had a very different silent scene over in our spot.
Yeah, Keelik was quietly sobbing in Vax's arms and then heard do and went, "Ah!"
Why is that bad? Why was that angry?
Because we don't get that.
Yeah.
Grog.
So you're gonna ruin everyone else's joy.
I'm
One
just.
of those couples.
I'm just.
Thank you, Vacation Scanlan.
Vacation
Worst
Scanlan's
double
back.
date sangria partners ever.
He's back, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
He's
you guys
back
going
and
on
taking
vacation?
no prisoners.
Are you guys going on vacation? We got a divorce.
Debbie Downer SNL sketch.
Did Meg actually miss it too, or did you catch it when Percy slipped? Bro, I honestly, I didn't miss it, but I definitely did not clock it as significant. I was legitimately just like, oh yeah, that probably happened like at some point over the time skip, and I just kind of forgot about it or missed it, or I don't know. Yeah, they seemed betrothed. Like I didn't. Or eloped. It just sounded like a thing that just, yeah, that would have happened. But we also have to remind ourselves that Mega does not super care about the relationships. Beyond how they inform broader characterization. Yeah, I'm kind of just like, even if chat had been like, whoa, they're betrothed, like if my chat had made a big deal about it, I would have been like, okay, is that cool, or I don't know. I just didn't think anything about it. Yeah. It was during the scene we don't talk about. I could tell and I remember. Yeah, I mean, now that we're talking about it in this scene, I remember him saying that, and yeah, it just didn't light up as a thing I should care about. Yeah. Yeah, he said my betrothed, and like Scanlan, that isn't a big deal. That Mega doesn't care about ships. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's I mean, like, good for them, I would say congrats. But, like, even beyond my general lack of care about ships, I really don't care about whether or not people are married. I don't care about whether or not I'm fucking married, bro. We got married for the tax implications. I committed myself to Paige in a very separate and distinct moment from the moment up on the altar. That was totally separate. We were, and like, I guess for more context, like my mom and the man that I call my stepfather are not married. They have been together for... Fuck, how old was I? They've been together for 14 years? Give or take? Something around there. Like, I don't think they're ever gonna get married. They're just together. And they've been together, and she refers to him as her husband, but they're not technically married. So for me, it's just like, out of all of the aspects of a relationships that I already don't care about. This is the one that I care the least about. I don't know. Yeah, fucking me and Paige had a very long conversation about whether or not we were going to elope. And we thought that our grandparents would be sad if we... And we wanted to have a big party. And then we didn't end up getting a big party because of COVID. But we got the paper, I guess. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think any of us were surprised when you didn't make much obvious note of it. Yeah, that me. Megan's sleeping in the doghouse tonight. Oh, no, Paige is well aware of all of this. Paige is very, very aware. Tell me you're Catholic without telling me you're Catholic. Bing, bing. Ding, ding, ding. Where's... Yep. Whoa, who nailed it? If their state has common law marriage, they might be married. They might be. What's up? Are you mad at me saying that I didn't care about like our marriage, like our like literal marriage and the fact that we are married and that I committed myself to you totally separately from the actual marriage? I can't fuck it. I'm not repeating that. I can't repeat that on stream. That's too specific.
Am I mad? No.
No.
You financially committing to me in any sort of way would have been allowed.
Me financially committing to you in any sort of way would have been allowed?
Or like permanently. I like
Yeah.
the fact that you have to go through a lawyer if you don't want to be married to me anymore.
The permanency. I mean,
The permanency. If
Yeah,
you
the
had bought
permanency
a
of it.
house with me, if you had kids with me.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah. For me, it was a bigger step when we commingled our finances.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. We're on the same page.
Disagree about that?
No, they were just like, oh, Meg's gonna be sleeping in the doghouse for saying that like the wedding was not like the big moment.
I got to wear a pretty dress.
You did get to wear a pretty dress. I wish we would have had a better party.
I still have the dress. Maybe I'll wear it again.
Yeah. Oh, man. Anyways. One of my parents' friends thought I thought we're married my whole life, and they aren't because she got divorced very young. Yeah, that's my mom. Same thing. Do we know each other, Brittany? I don't think so. Ezra, you discovered traditionalist religious marriage where government is irrelevant. That is true. I did have I did grow up with a really strong, religious marriage and state marriage are very distinct and separate. That is absolutely the environment that I grew up in. Which almost certainly had an impact on my thinking. Yeah. That is fair. The phrasing is wild. I like that you'd have to go through a lawyer to get rid of me. That's how Paige talks sometimes. She's funny. I like her, man. We've already established that Mega could have been a lawyer. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. But anyways.
Cheap in Kaba. God.
Grog, what are you doing?
I'm just as uncomfortable as I could possibly be. This is the worst case scenario of my entire life. I'm just not moving.
I don't know if we've ever said it before. Paige is way funnier than me. I don't know if I've ever made this clear. I'm not I think I'm average funny. I think most streamers, YouTubers, entertainers are probably more humorous than me. Is humorous a funny word? Probably not. Paige is absolutely the funny one in our relationship.
And hoping this is all over soon.
Okay. I love that.
It's just endless books beyond what you can see. Are they like chairs?
I feel like Pike would have comforted.
There are no chairs. Yeah, Pike comes over. And
There are chairs?
she's like, no, there aren't.
Oh.
She goes, do you want to go with everyone else, Frog?
I don't know. Or do you?
It's okay. Yeah, they're walking.
I want to leave, like, fast. Do we?
The faster we follow them, then the faster we can go.
Okay. Let's go.
I bet you could read some of these books.
I bet not. These are really tall books.
Come on. She grabs your hand and begins kind of tugging you behind her. What are you guys doing?
Me and him?
Yeah.
Leaning into each
Sobbing?
Okay, so you guys stay there.
Sobbing while we leave.
You're running back and forth.
I don't know.
Going anywhere.
You run around for about a good minute and a half, and you're not seeing any sort of change.
Nothing?
No.
Can I go forward into the bookcases and look right and left to see where they lead?
Okay, yeah, you turn around the corner and just see them disappear on the edge.
I'll continue.
Okay, so you follow them.
Yeah.
As you guys are having this silent argument, Sprig catches up to you,
Oh, hi, Sprig.
but you hear nothing, Sprig, as they're all going.
I just turned it off.
Oh, you turned it off? Okay.
I got everyone to agree.
Okay.
Hi.
Oh, hi.
Hello,
How's it going?
Glowing.
Yes,
You are too. What's going on with that?
Wait, you are?
Yeah, you seem to be blushing.
It's so hot in here. It's very hot in
Not
here.
really that hot.
Pike and Grog catch up around the corner.
Oh, my God.
What'd you find?
Nothing, but
The way out? Exit?
seems like it could be this way. We'll have to bond together and go forward.
Really?
Yes.
Where did you get the sunglasses from?
What the fuck?
It's glowing in here.
The Ion Stone actually is giving a faint glow similar to the glow that you see emanating from Sprig's torso.
Is it glowing any more than?
Make a perception check.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a 8.
So that's it.
Maybe 11.
we need
I don't know. Do I add Jack of all trades?
You do, yeah. If you're not
I really want to know. I will inspire myself, and
Okay.
I'll add a D12.
Yes.
good.
That makes it 16.
Okay. You start getting the sense that the further you walk, both your stone and Sprig are beginning to emanate a slightly stronger glow.
Ooh.
And so you guys begin to realize that this could be used as a path to something. You're not quite sure.
Let's keep going.
Okay. So everyone's going behind. You guys are.
Just an imagination clarification, because the silence effect went off there. Did Vax and Keyleth hear, "You're married," or was that all
Oh, no, I
covered
got
by
that.
No,
silence?
he clutched that in
So we
silence.
heard the song, but that's it.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah. Everyone else has gone ahead and vanished into the library. You guys are just staying.
Asked by a giant thing
Well,
to
noticing
plead
that
to,
we're totally alone.
plead for your worthiness and
Just silently tug Keyleth.
And
down after her.
I felt that honesty was important at that moment.
No, it very much is. I'm
And
very glad. I'm just
You
surprised he
want-
didn't say anything. I spoke with
He
him.
was acting nobly. I won't tell anyone if you don't want me to.
no, yeah, well,
No, I
we
mean,
had to tell them eventually.
As you're following the stone, you hear some footfalls as Vax and Keyleth catch up to you guys.
We already know it's fine.
You're engaged. You don't need to.
Well,
around it.
yeah. Well, it's
I'm sorry I didn't tell you about that.
we
Engagement?
You fucking liars! You fucking liars! Just tell us. We know.
We got married.
we may have just gotten married.
Yeah. Oh, surprise!
It was always going to be.
Celebration!
We didn't want to make it
A thing.
We wanted it to just be.
I think it's great.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you,
It's
Scanlan.
wonderful when two people can fall in love and have each other forever and ever.
Well,
It's nice.
You're such a dick.
No, I mean it. You guys are great. You're super cute together.
All right, Scanlan's actually just being an ass here. And obviously that's the point. That's what I cannot imagine that Sam Riegel is unaware of that. But crazy dickhead behavior.
You'll make Whitestone. You'll be celebrities there.
no.
Do we have to get you gifts?
No.
Oh no, they eloped, so we're clear.
Very
Really
specifically,
clear.
no.
Sweet, buddy.
But this place.
Yeah, it's amazing. And Keyleth like lights up her flame hands as she walks off
It's.
in a fury.
Do you not know what this place means? Am I the only one who understands what this place means?
I would love to know.
It all matters.
None of us have forgotten.
No, I mean, really. It all matters. So much, and it's not going to go away. Nothing goes away.
No, it only gets filed away in some library where no one else can experience it except for.
Dude, I'm on I'm on Keela's side here. What the fuck are you talking about, Percy?
Or what one?
I mean, like, good for you that you're finding meaning in this, but I don't understand that logic at all.
Maybe 2 people ever.
1 and 2 people are all that it takes to experience something.
An echoing voice.
And the 1 or 2 people that experienced it. What are you talking about, Percy? I want to argue with Percy right now. I don't want to argue with Taliesin or Marisha. I want to argue with Percy right now. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Blows out from the right side of your troop. Creaky, warm, matronly voice.
He's all about, no, I understand that he's all about legacy and leaving records and whatever, but like, this is as impermanent as anything else. And he's like, 1 or 2 people are all it takes to experience it, but those people will also die. Those people will also go away. We know confirmedly that gods can die. If Percy's okay with zooming this far out to qualify this library as legacy, then zoom a second further out, and let's look at the Death God, whose realm I'm pretty sure has been retrofitted into this. I don't think a lot of his hourglasses are still hanging around. I think if Ioun were to perish in Cataclysm 3, Electric Boogaloo, I don't know, that if Ioun were to perish, this entire library would get wiped out. It is not this, like, permanent storehouse within the core of existence that he's portraying it to be. What the fuck is he talking about? That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's, like, a poor choice. I just want to argue with Percy. Because I think he's wrong, but also if I were his friend, I probably wouldn't argue with him because this does seem to be putting him in a mentally better place. So, whatever. It's as permanent as a freaking goddess is. The wounded one? The one that is explicitly damaged? The fragile goods? Yeah, it is as fucking permanent as that one. I agree. I feel like I'm taking loony pills here. What are we talking about? Are you making a case against recording anything? No! I'm saying that he is saying that the permanency of this place gives life meaning, and that's ridiculous. This place is as impermanent as writing a book in the real world. If we're taking it on the cosmic scale, right? Of course it is more durable than a book. But also some books are more durable than other books. So this is just a scale of durability. This is not infinitely durable books. These are not completely cosmically indestructible books. All it takes is a whim of the goddess for them to not be around anymore. This isn't a cosmic functioning of the universe. This is one god's very specific will, and in my view, probably only because she got access to a different god's portfolio. I doubt she was doing this shit before she got access to time. Now, obviously, I'm using one of my theories as evidence here, which is not good form, but I don't care.
That surrounds and almost welcomes you with the intonation of a grandmother. Nothing is forever, Percival.
Exactly.
And you glance off to the right and you can see there's a break in the bookcase.
Thank you, Ioun.
And to your right, you see the shelves of
Oh.
stuff.
Again, Ross, I'm not arguing with Taliesin right now. Totally reasonable. Percy has spouted so much insane shit. I know that I'm harping on this one a lot, but it's fairly reasonable as far as Percy statements are concerned. I just want to argue with him about it. Not Taliesin. Totally decent character choice for Taliesin. In fact, such a decent character choice that it is realizing the character in such a way that I want to get in an argument with said character. Me, the real-life person, wants to get in an argument with the fictional person. Because I think the fictional person is not seeing things clearly. But I do think that Taliesin is seeing things clearly. So good on Taliesin. Percival!
Ahead in this direction to reveal a circular common area within the library where the ground domes downward into an 80-foot wide concave pit of cushions and tables, all standing at odd angles alongside this pit, but never sliding. Gravity seems to shift depending on where the dome stands. These tables hold teacups and writing implements and various other decor and things that involve binding and writing. None of them slipping, all of them just affixed to the table as the dome slowly comes to a central rest.
I will also call out that once again, I think we broadly have an unbroken monologue between the entrance and now. The choice at the start of this is as much a choice as the choices that he gave them when walking up to Pelor's cathedral, or walking through Pelor's fortress, whatever. And I'll say the same thing that I said. Well, I'll say a similar thing that I said there. At least in Pelor's cathedral, the choice was false, but also clear, right? It was there was only like kind of one obvious path forward that they could kind of walk towards, and he gave them, a choice or two about, he would like describe something and then kind of pause and like let them role play for a second. And there was no choices there, but the choice that they would make is obvious to keep walking forward. So in a lot of ways, I like what he did with Pelor's Cathedral more than I like what he's doing here, because he is still inserting that fake choice to break up the monologue, I think. But I think it worked a lot better in Pelor's, and honestly in the fields of, or not the fields, the Isle of Renewal. Even though that was kind of a soft puzzle, the puzzle was much more contained, I suppose. I still didn't love it. I thought it was fine. This one is, they can't even just walk in a straight line like they could at Pelor's, but the puzzle was not nearly as contained and constrained and instant. The solution was kind of like an instant solution as it was on the Isle of Renewal. I actually think, looking at them, Matt has set up all three of the realms in a pretty similar way, or all three of the we might call them the godly domains, in a pretty similar way. Like the Isle of Renewal is similar in a lot of ways to the Abundant Orchard. I can't quite remember. And then we'll call this one the Infinite Library. They're all actually set up in very similar ways in terms of how the players are progressing from where they enter the domain to actually talking to the god. And this one, the Infinite Library, is the one that I would want to visit the most, and I'm the most into, as a descriptive environment. But I also think Matt, in a TTRPG session sense, is handling it the worst of the three. I think Pelor's, for all the shit I gave it, I actually think I like the most. And then it's a close second for different reasons with Sarenrae. And then there's a little bit of a gap, and it's here.
Long, spiraling streams of silver, blue, and gray silk descend from the supposed ceiling that's beyond your sight, and they just kind of come down like drifting silks that you kind of push past as you enter the area. Sitting 40 feet from you in the center of the dome, no larger than a normal person, is an older woman of long, wavy silver hair. Her olive skin is somewhat weathered and wrinkled around her almond eyes, but the warmth of her smile and her vibrant purple irises put you at ease immediately. Her blue and white robes tumble out from her form in tendrils of parchment that snake through the pillows like roots.
Yeah. Classic. I'm always put at ease by purple irises. If I think of one thing that seeing a purple iris does, it is easy flowing.
She smiles as you turn and see her. I felt that you would find me. And that's where we'll end tonight's session.
Wow.
Wow, Darren.
Darren.
Time is
Can
it?
everybody watching still at home just give a round of applause for Darren?
Seriously.
Standing O.
If you're available, you may want to, if you can, come and join us for the first half, maybe.
Not next week.
Not next week, but the week after Comic-Con, if you're interested.
Of course.
Because I kind of want to roleplay out you meeting Ayun. So,
Of course.
that'd be awesome.
It would be an honor. You know
Awesome.
how important this is to me.
Great. Well, I'll look forward to having you back in a couple weeks then.
Good. And I will see you next weekend as well.
Yes, indeed.
Oh.
Guys, thank you so much. Great game. Well done.
GG. That's it. Wow, and really short post session. Oh my gosh. Man. Sprig was fucking awesome. Sprig was awesome, man. I loved Sprig. There isn't more post session. It was crazy short. It was only 4:00:49 to 4:01:32, and we're at 4:01:36. No more post session. Crazy. Yeah, man. I'm excited to see the rest of Sprig. I thought he's like, it's weird because he's one of the guest PCs I've like trusted the least. And like, I've been kind of like the most worried about, but also the one I've been the most delighted by. And the most, I think I think I can say unequivocally, Sprig is by far the guest PC I've been the most interested in. And it's tough because I don't want to imply with that to make an interesting guest PC, you have to make something like Sprig, because I think he would be a lot at some tables or a lot in some situations. But I think he was perfect in this situation and in the role that he was playing within this story. And he made me want to know more. I think that is and I don't think that is down to the like construction of Sprig as a character, at least not entirely. Darren was incredible. I could see the TTRPG experience. I mean, I guess I don't know that he has TTRPG experience. If he doesn't, crazy good. If this was his first time, insane to me. But even I could see the experience bleeding through. And I could see that like he legitimately like he wasn't just friends with the cast. Like he had knowledge about Critical Role that I don't think a lot of the other guests have displayed, at least. He seemed a part of the world in a way that I have not felt with basically any other guest PC. Just maybe with the exceptions of like Zara and Cash. I do think Zara and Cash felt a part of the world, but you could also, no shade to Will Friedle or to Mary Elizabeth McGlynn. But, I could see their inexperience in TTRPGs. And Sprig just kind of had it all. He was interesting. He was incredibly performed. He felt like an NPC from Exandria, not, a character that is interesting, but as kind of feels like they've been transported here a little bit, which I've felt with a couple of characters, including even like someone like Care. I think there was a decent amount of effort to make Care a part of the world, but I don't know that he crossed that bar for me. Like, his role in Westrun, like, and it's unfortunate for, well, you know, it's kind of give and take, but I mean, like, Care was literally worked into the world. Like, he had a position and, like, a place within Westrun, but Westrun was such a ravaged community that someone having a place in the old world order or even the new world order that we've never actually gotten to witness still doesn't really play off to me. You know, former Westrun, where Care used to have some amount of influence, is not a thing I've ever seen in Exandria. And new Westrun that is repaired after, you know, after being freed from Umbrasyl, and in which place Care has had an even more of a role. Oh, thank you. Also, you know, I haven't seen on screen. So it's not really like Patrick Rothfuss's fault necessarily, but I think that Sprig was so much more worked in than that. And I'm not even talking about, you know, his status with Ioun. I'm talking about like his mentionings of Craghammer, his knowledge of the other characters, and like the types of things that, you know, within Sprig's perspective, adventurers go through, but from Darren DePaul's perspective, this particular party has been through. Like, he just had the knowledge to bring to bear upon the role that I don't know, but it feels like no other guest player has had that level of understanding of not only what D&D is, not only what Exandria is, but what the specific story of Vox, you might even say the legend of Vox Machina is. I think that Darren had an understanding of these three things, and I don't think any other guest players had those. And it's a tall order. I would not ask a guest PC or a guest player to have all of that knowledge. Darren just did. So, I mean, hats off. That's all I can. That's about as complicated as I can make the review. Hats off, man. Oof. Career knowledge we gain in talks in between this episode and the next about the nature of Sprig and the character direct from Darren if you want it. Yeah, sure. Yeah. That's good. That's good with me. If it's, you know, in Talks Machina between these sessions, sure. Yeah. There's a bunch of info we learned about his TTRPG experience from this episode of Talks Machina. If you want to hear it, do you want it now or maybe next Critical Eyes? It's a good question. I mean, if you guys have it now and it's short, I'm down to learn it now. Well, actually, I want to wrap up a little bit. I've already gone a little bit longer than I originally intended. Oh, well. That's fine. Sprig was actually Darren's old character he played in a campaign with Matt's mom. Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, yeah, there's not a complicated analysis to give there. That's just sweet. Okay, that makes a statement of like, you know how much this means to me. That makes make even more sense. Oh. Wow, so they like know each other. God damn, no wonder they have such good fucking chemistry. Holy shit. I mean, he's playing D&D with Matt's mom? No wonder their chemistry's so good. Holy hell. That's great. IMO Chod's PC used his inexperience to make the character seem real. Getting your memory changed all the time messes you up. Chod is like, I would say my top 5 guest PCs for a variety of reasons are the ones that I've mentioned so far. Sprig's easily in there, and then it's Chod, Care, Wilfredell, Cashaw, and Zara. Those are my top 5 guest PCs. Unfortunately, I think I've got to put Zara and Cash at the lowest, partially because of the parts of the story they were involved with. But also, honestly, they're inexperienced. And then Care was, I think, well performed, but I never felt that he really fit in the world in like a really solid way, even though he literally did. I didn't feel it. And then honestly, Chad is probably my number 2. Just because of how well he was performed, and I think he was a sort of Grog type character. I mean, I don't even gotta say sort of. He was a Grog type character. That was a direct parallel that they made throughout the session. And I think he was performed really well, and like how a Grog type character would interact within the world. He felt as kind of grounded within Exandria as I think Grog does. Or at least on the order. Yeah, and maybe the only thing holding Chad back was frankly, I think Darren seemed to have a better overall grasp of the game and the system. I don't know how many times, can't remember his name, Chad's player, Napoleon Dynamite. I don't know how many times he had played or if he had played at all, but just from what I can tell, if I were to bet, I would say that Darren has a substantial amount of TTRPG experience on John Heder. That's right. Or John Heder. Heder? I don't remember. John, I'll say. I think that Darren has a decent experience gap on John. That's speculation. But that's at least how it came off when they were playing to me. Pike did not make the list. Yeah. I love Ashley Johnson. I love Pike. I can't get past the blind spot of it all. She's not going to make the top 5. She's also not a guest player. Like, a guest player and a guest PC are treated differently than Pike. I know it's a joke. But she's her own special concoction of place at the table. Yeah. Oh, man. It's from a con before the appearance where he explains it. Damn. That backstory is real. The similarities to Scanlan were coincidental, though Darren may have leaned into it. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm sure we'll talk more about Darren next session because it sounds like he's coming back. But fantastic. Really, really fantastic. And that's it. That's all I got. Episode 106. Maybe, probably, maybe on Monday. I'm so confident. Can you tell? Hopefully on Monday. Thank you all so much for joining. I'm psyched. I'm psyched there was a question mark in front of the first psyched. I'm psyched to see what happens here. I feel like it'll answer a lot of my lore questions. So I'll see you all then. Goodbye.